everyone predicted, everyone almost 100% presumed we were getting this shadow dropped.
Yeah, for context, you thought it was going to be shadow dropped at Summer Games Fest.
And so did everyone that had played the playtest. Obviously, a lot of people were very upset because they felt like they'd been misled, which I think is a fair response. It's from Arc System, who are well loved. It looks polished. It's got a fuck ton of characters already by the looks of it, like a good starting selection from what they've revealed. My immediate thought was rip Riot Games and 2XKO.
One that I am so excited for, popped hugely for it coming up, and then Jeff didn't give us a date at which I wanted to cry. Mixtape.
It makes me confident that in November I'm going to get my ROG X Ally and not have to be worried about scalpers. I want it. I want it so bad. I will kick a child in the face for it. I don't care. It'll be worth it. Hello and welcome back to Cutscene Convos. This is episode 163 and it's a gaming episode. We have got some scores to go through for games that have come out in the last month. We have got a PlayStation State of Play to go through. We've got a Summer Games Fest to go through. We've got an Xbox showcase to go through. And as always, we have the Nerd News Network. But to guide us through all of that, we have Josh with us. Hello, Josh. Hello, Horizontal. How have your weeks been?
Hello. Not bad. Same old. Been playing a lot of Pokemon on the old Switch too. Had to drop that one in there.
Reflex.
Yeah, had to drop that one in there. Yeah, playing a lot of Pokemon. Just chilling, working. Looking forward to a big episode today.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working as well. Between last week's recording and this week, I think. Well, I've been fucking all over the place with work. Actually travelling to stores. Really? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, travelling to a store. Thankfully, it was only Manchester, so it wasn't too far. But
Manchester.
Yeah, I mean, work's just going through a busy patch at the moment. My brain is racked with launch dates for different things and trying to keep track of everything, which I'm just not used to. So
you need one of them big old whiteboards like Josh used to have.
I have one. Do you want to know what's on it?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
That's not ideal.
To be fair, over this last month, I've got Obsidian on my work laptop. I have completely, fully utilizing that as I have automatic daily notes set up.
Nice.
I have weekly notes set up, and I have monthly notes set up.
Huge value.
A tracker board and all that. Without that, I think I would be completely lost.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, pretty chill. How's your week been, Connor?
Well, I had my 10K that I've been training for all this weekend just gone. So that's finally done and dusted. Other than that, it's been a pretty chill week. Yeah, didn't go to the cinema this weekend because I had a nice early run on Saturday morning, so we weren't going to be out late at the cinema. I've been playing the balls out of Minecraft again. It has me in a chokehold. I've literally spent the last 2 hours just shoveling dirt to make space for my next project. So that's how much it's got its claws in. Yeah, massively. I got home from work, I did my notes for the news section, I cooked dinner, and then I shoveled dirt for 2 hours. Like, what a life we live. But other than that, it's been a pretty chill week. Not too much going on. Me and Jenna sat down on Sunday, maybe Friday evening, can't remember which, and we went for and booked cinema tickets for the next month. So I know when my cinema trips are until the week before Superman. Just, I've got 5 trips booked in. I'm so fucking excited. God, I love the cinema.
We're becoming the more... was always the opposite of being last minute, and now you're just going further away from me by being months ahead with your bookings.
Yeah, well, this is the problem now. I have the Cineworld Unlimited card. So it costs me no money to go, I want to see that, and just instantly impulse purchase tickets for it. It's great.
Mate, if I had that, I'd still only book last minute.
Yeah, it helps me scratch the impulse purchase part of my brain. It's great. But before wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. Josh, do you want to kick us off with scores on the doors for games that have come out in the last month?
Indeed, it feels like it's been an awfully long time since the last episode.
Well, we
I
missed
don't
a
know
week
why.
because I was on holiday, so it is.
Extended a
and
week,
it was a
right,
long.
okay.
May was a longer month, wasn't it? So.
No, chestnut. So we had some game releases. We had console releases. Switch 2 is finally here, but games that we discussed last month that were coming out, Doom: The Dark Ages, currently sitting at an 85. I believe one of us had that in Fantasy Critic. Can't remember who. Oh, wait, I think it might have been me.
You.
Yeah, I think it was me.
you. Such an odd flex.
Way to toot your own there.
I forgot. I completely forgot.
Because you stole it off me because I really wanted it.
That rings bells now, but that's sitting at an 85. Believe it's on Game Pass. Not got around to it yet. Onimusha 2 Remaster, fairly low, 76. Elden Ring Night Rain, one that we assumed was going to do well just because it's FromSoft. An 80, which isn't horrendous.
But it was a lot lower than that on launch day, wasn't it? On launch day, it was like a 75. It's
this is like the average score. I believe it's like an 84 on PC and like a 79 on console or 78 on console, or the other way around. I can't remember. So I set that average. Obviously, it was never going to be as good simply because it's solely multiplayer. But yeah, 80 lower than I thought. I've not played it yet. I've watched some gameplay and it looks pretty jokes.
A couple of my mates have been playing it and they say it's actually really good. So
I feel like it's one where if you get like a squad of people that you know all to play at the same time, it's probably really good. Whereas solo queuing, I can't imagine. That's the funnest of times. Well,
I've heard that
I could just imagine queuing up and some random 13-year-old screaming at you because you don't have a meta build. Well, I just don't want to deal with it.
You can solo run it or duo run it, like not fill. But I've heard that the game's not balanced for that. So you have
it doesn't scale.
No, you have a really sad time if you're solo or duo. They apparently are going to patch it and plan to tweak it so it's better balanced for when you're not a free man. But yeah, so that might also have been why some scores were lower.
Yeah, maybe people were jumping in solo and not having the best of times. But F163, one I don't think many of us were going to dabble in. If anyone was going to, it would have been yourself, Horry. At an 80, just I feel like it gets a similar score every time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mario Kart World, one that I have played, enjoying. I haven't played it enough just yet to give it my full verdict, but at an 87, pretty good score. I mean, I thought it might just get a 90 just because it's a Mario Kart. I know Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is, I'm pretty sure, a 91 or 92, but 87, people just don't like change, I feel like. Because from what I've played of the game, it's really good. Obviously, got the open world type areas, missions to do in there, new tracks, new game modes. From the limited hours I've played of it, I'm enjoying it so far.
I've only heard good things about it, in all fairness.
Yeah, I mean, the only things I've heard are people say the 24 player races are rough when you get hit by things, because you will drop places fast.
Very fast.
Which is just part and parcel of it. The only other complaint I've seen is the character select thing. How on the last Mario Kart, it would go on Mario and then you had a separate little grid of their outfits. Or like Shy Guy, you go on Shy Guy and you could then pick the colour. Now all the outfits are separated. So you're going through like menus and menus to find your character in the outfit.
That's bad UI decision.
So I think that might need changing, but small things really.
Yeah, but on the whole, I've tried the sort of like battle royale where if you're like, there's 24 people in it, and that's very fun. I've enjoyed that so far. So I'm going to keep playing it, and probably next month I'll be able to give my small little review on it and whether it's worthy an 87 more or less.
Sounds good.
Dune Awakening. I've got it on my notes as a 77, but I know on OpenCritic I'm pretty sure it's higher because Con, didn't you have
Yeah, it's
that
on
in Fantasy
84 on
Critic?
OpenCritic.
Okay, so that's a bit strange. I'm pretty sure I checked that. I am going to double check that. Have any of us checked it out? I know it's sort of
I was put
MMORPG, I
off
think,
by
from
the
it.
initial reaction because like launch day, everyone was like, "Oh, it's really not that good." But now, like coming up to a week later, a lot of people are like, "That start is really rough and not fun." And if you manage to get through it, it gets really fun. So it might be
Okay.
one of these games that over the next kind of 6 months, as people like slog through it, they then get to like the promised land of where the game gets good. I don't know though. That's a recurring theme I'm hearing and seeing.
The main thing I've seen is like, if you don't like survival games at all, or like you're a bit on the fence and don't always enjoy them, you will not enjoy this game.
I saw Shroud say that.
So it's like, apparently it is very heavy on the survival game aspects, and that is its main focus. And if you like it, you like it, you'll enjoy it. Probably
I think
because you're the
sometimes
sort of
people-
person who'll get past that slog because you're used to that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I think some people forget that not every game is for them. And I get it, like, especially like I think it's a bigger problem with like big IPs because June has released some of the biggest films of the last 10 years in the last 5 years. And everyone wants, if you're a gamer and you've enjoyed them films, you want it to be your kind of game. So then for it to come out and not be your kind of game, you are going to be kind of a little bit, I guess, upset. But people do need to remember not every game is made for them specifically, and that's okay. Just go find the game that is made for you that's been released.
Yeah.
That whole concept applies to many games that we're going to be discussing today, which IPs have come out and they're just games that I'm not going to play, which is a shame. One that I was maybe interested in playing, but definitely not now. Mind's Eye. It hasn't got a score yet, but all the I don't think it wants to. I don't think the devs want to see a score because I don't think I've seen a single positive review yet. One of the comments that did make me crease was someone said it looks like the game that people play in the background of films, and it really tickles me.
Oh my god, it does. I was like the story trailer for it. I was like, oh, that could be like it's a very me kind of story that I'm like,
So
okay,
like GTA type of vibes.
Yeah. I was like, there could be something there. It's a little bit sci-fi techy. Like I could get behind this. Let me see what happens. Then no review codes were sent out, so there was no like before you buy videos that came out before release day, which is always a red flag. Why aren't you letting people see this game before release? And then it's come out and it's just like all of the clips I'm seeing are the game being in a worse situation than when Cyberpunk launched.
And that's saying something.
Like, don't get me wrong, I know I got very lucky with my Cyberpunk launch experience. I had no real bugs or anything. And in reality, we all know now Cyberpunk shouldn't have tried to keep last gen consoles in its release, because that was where the majority of problems were. But they've broken promises. They promised 60 FPS in performance mode on the PS5. Doesn't exist. The game just isn't functioning right, and forgetting like the bugs, which I can look past to an extent, it also looks like the gameplay when it is working just isn't that good.
It just looks boring.
The combat looks like 2006 Gears of War, but not designed to be Gears of War combat, which just makes it worse, because at least Gears of War knows it's going to be cover-to-cover shoulder shooting and makes the most of that. This game is just like, you're going to do that, but we're not going to make it fun to do it that way.
Yeah. I mean, the clips I've seen have mainly been game-breaking. I mean, that one of the car where it bumped, I have never seen a bug where a 3D model crumples.
Just turns in spaghetti.
Yeah.
And like, because like as someone who understands 3D to a certain level and like how it's implemented into games, I genuinely don't understand how they've managed to make that happen. Because like a model is not meant to react in that way. So whoever's done that is wild. I think the other big red flag, like alongside like them not putting out review codes, is their initial response from like I think the head dev has been all these big like the YouTubers or videos that come out that are clearly being negative on it. He said they're all being paid off by Rockstar. Like that's his reaction to it. not that our game is broken and we should fix this. It's not,
Like,
oh no,
acknowledging
these people are clearly being paid off to give us a negative review. So like that on top of it is just like, well, okay, I can see
It's
how
not
we've
the
ended
one
up
at
in
all.
this situation.
Yeah, it's a real shame because, like I said, at first I was, and like, don't get me wrong, people have like shared some like clips of like the cutscenes,
The cutscenes look unbelievable.
and I'm like, that genuinely, it feels like they've made all the cinematics really nice, really high quality, to make that story-based trailer where everyone goes, ooh, and then they've gone, right, that was enough copies, we're done here. It's like, no, sorry, the game.
4X games do, where they have like these crazy cinematics, and then it's like, oh, it's now top-down tile.
Yeah, RTS.
Yeah. Insane, and I'm genuinely a little bit annoyed by it because I was like, oh, this could be good, but this is a company that's made up of a lot of ex-Rockstar North devs and stuff like that, and realistically, a game that was very expensive to make and fucking it this bad, let's be honest, shitting the bed this heavily, that studio isn't making a second game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Another clip I saw that was really funny. This geezer was just following a mission, and then he had to go into combat, and the way he was moving and jumping, literally, and the way he described it was GTA 5 on Xbox 360. Like the movement just looks so like clunky, and you know when you jump and you sort of do that motion, like every time they moved, it was just like it looked shambles. It's annoying that it's I'll say they put a lot of work into it. It doesn't look like they have, but they would have spent a lot of time on it. It's now going to find its way to my backlog. If that, it probably won't even make it on. If they ever fix it, I might get around to it. Maybe
if every other game ever gets nuked off the internet and I fancy playing a game in 6 years, I might give it a go. Is that what you meant by backlog?
Yep, it's one of them ones. Yep. If there's no other game left on Earth, I will play mine.
Pretty sure you'll probably go find Concord somehow before you.
The fabled Concord disc.
Oh, rest in peace. Yet to release. It's a bit of a quiet month because we're having a bit of a shorter month. I don't think we are actually, are we? What's the date today? The 10th?
All months are the same length, mate.
The time between episodes, sorry. It's just a quiet month in general, I think. We've got Rematch on June 19th, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Is that the Seafood?
It's the Seafood Devs football game.
I thought that was already out, or was that a beta?
There was lots of playtests and betas and stuff.
Oh, okay. So I've seen a lot of it, and it looks good, but it also looks like it would make me throw my head through my monitor, so I will not be playing. It looks very well made, though.
Me and the boys have dabbled in clubs again recently, just because we've been bored, and we're very much enjoying clubs. So I think we're going to transition to Rematch, just because, Con, you know how AIDS EA Sports games are. That is boiling my blood playing that game. So Rematch, I'm very much looking forward to checking out. And then a big hitter for me that I have in my fantasy critic, Death Stranding 2. We've seen about 1 billion trailers for it.
None of them make any sense, which is just for the par with Death Stranding.
Concept of Death Stranding 1 is, all I know is Normus Reddus is carrying a baby in a jar up and down mountains. Like,
in a walking sim, yep.
But I've also seen clips where you get a bike eventually, so I don't know why it's called a walking sim, and it's also confusing, and I want to play it.
So it's on my backlog. It's a game that I'm embarrassed that I haven't played. I love Kojima. I love PlayStation, and I just haven't got around to it. I think the length of it and the fact that everyone kept labeling it as a walking sim really put me off. But the scores are fantastic. This one's predicted to be fantastic. I need it to be for my fantasy critic. All things point towards it being good, so...
I might be about to say something that gets my nerd card taken away.
Go on.
I don't think I've... No, let me be clear. I love Heido because he has great tastes in art and I love his opinions on art.
You're about to say you've never played one of his games.
I don't think I've played any of his games. I'm looking at his games. I don't think I have. I may have played one of the old Metal Gear Solids when I was really little and just forgotten it. And I was too young to really engage with it.
I've dabbled in many Metal Gears. I don't think I've ever finished one from start to finish, but I've definitely dabbled.
I haven't finished one, but I've definitely played Metal Gear.
And I was also in the small amount of people that played PT before it got removed and deleted from the face of the planet. So yeah, he is a goat. This game, I think he's going to do really well. I think high 80s, low 90s on Metacritic. I might be hyping it up too much just because of the IP.
No,
I do think
well.
it
The
will
first
do
one
well.
was really well received. This one will be a better game because they've learnt from the mistakes of the first in the series. I expect it will do very well.
I mean, we can only hope. Now it's time that we've all been waiting for. It's going to be a long discussion. I'm putting out the disclaimer now that the games we're going over are going to be ones that I think are of significance. Ones that I think are like big announcements, big titles, as well as games that I think the three of us would play. So I've skipped a lot of the Hoyoverse type Genshin anime games because I know we're not interested in it. Some fighting games I've excluded, not all. There are some we will be talking about. Some racing games and stuff. Just the bulk and the stuff that I know we wouldn't be interested in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it was the Friday night, or was it the Thursday night? Who knows? We had the PlayStation State of Play. I can't actually remember.
Friday was Summer Games Fest, so it must have been
Friday was
Thursday.
Summer
Of course
Games
it was.
Fest.
Of course it
No,
was.
it's Wednesday night was State of Play.
It was a bit all over the place. A showcase that Sony sort of dropped out of nowhere that it was coming. Obviously, it was rumored. They normally do a showcase around Summer Games Fest as well as having some of their stuff shown at Jeff's event. But it is Jeff's event, mate. Come on. This I thought was an okay showcase. I didn't think it was anything special by any means. Fighting games fans probably thought it was the best showcase at State of Play, should I say, that there's ever been. But just got rolling off a few of the bits that we checked out. We got some new Astrobot levels coming this summer. There's going to be some new characters. They did show a little Ghost of Yote.
I saw Erika Ishii reacting to that, and that was very cool. So Josh won't understand this law. The actress playing Yote is from Dropout, which is a streaming service me and Hori watch religiously. And she's one of like the main cast members who gets on that. So I remember when Ghost of Yote got announced, I sent her a message. I was like, "Holy shit, that's Erika Ishii!"
And for context, Dropout was College Humor.
Yes,
that might help
and then it got better and became Dropout.
Well, yeah.
I know you've both like mentioned it many times before, so I've got a rough understanding of what it is. Baby Steps got a release date. This was shown at some point last year. It's like QWOP, but you've got to go sort of up.
QWOP.
Yeah, it's like a newer 3D QWOP. It looks very funny. Both show trailers that they've released are very comedy heavy. Whether the game itself will actually be any good, who knows? But it did get a date of September 8th, which I believe we didn't know before that. If it's multiplayer, it could be a fun one to check out, but I don't know if it is. It'll sort of be along our vibes of what's the one where you got to climb and all the chain together and those sort of games.
Yeah. Fodian games
could be one for us to check out. Final Fantasy Tactics, and one I knew that we weren't probably going to play, but it's a big game. That comes out. I don't actually think it got a date, or if it did, it was next year. The cool thing about that one, you can play it in the updated style or play with the traditional 1997 art style, but just
I think that's fucking awesome.
I think having the option to do so
it's always fun
is cool. They don't just force you to play the new one, you do get the option, which I think is very cool. More Ghost of Yote, we've seen it God knows how many times now. It's like Deathloop all over again. But obviously the game is due out soon. We are getting a specific Ghost of Yote State of Play.
Do we have a release date
next
for
month
that yet?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Let me grab it now.
2nd of October. Okay, so I've got to the 2nd of October to play Ghost of Tsushima.
You asked plenty of time. So I played...
No, don't ever tell me I have plenty of time, because then I'll forget about it, and then it'll be October 1st and I won't have played it.
It's an annoying one for me, because I love an open world RPG. But I didn't love it. I don't know if it's the setting, because I'm also currently playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm not in love with that either. I don't know if it's the whole samurai setting that's not doing it for me. I'm not sure. but I couldn't bond. I didn't click with Ghost of Tsushima. So whether I'll play this one,
My big thing with open world
Unsure.
RPGs is I use the term loosely, speed run the story and don't do much of the side stuff. I don't want to be underleveled. I want, if I waste time doing the side stuff, to become OP and overleveled as fuck. That's how I like my open world RPGs to work. Whereas a lot of them go the other way and they're like, you're going to be underleveled unless you are spending 5 hours between each boss doing side quests. And that pisses me off. So as long as I can like run at the story, and then if I want to do side stuff to get stronger, I can. Sweet.
I can't actually remember. I played it on launch, which I'm pretty sure was in like lockdown 2020.
Was it not even before that?
No, it was definitely lockdown because I remember. I think I got my COVID jab the day it
was
came
July 2020. Good memory.
There you go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got my COVID jab the day it came out, or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long time now, so this is probably going to do very well.
Yeah, I expect it will.
Hiragami, one that I am adding to my wish list, and I encourage anyone listening, if you like the look of any of these games, drop them a wish list in Steam. Bless you.
Thank you.
In Steam, Xbox, PlayStation does the devs a lot of favors. But Hiragami was like a 3D action platformer, and you're the origami. You change shapes to traverse, etc., etc. Looks very good. Looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah, that looks sick.
007 First Light. Obviously, we knew it was coming. We got the first. It was quite a long trailer, actually, which was nice. We saw
3-minute trailer.
A young MI6 Bond. We saw the actor for the first time, which, according to social media, and it does look a lot like Patrick Gibson, who plays young Dexter. Overall, I'm on the fence. I probably won't play it because I don't like Hitman games, but I know Con, you're very much excited.
When I knew it was IO working on it, I kept a very close eye because I'm a fan of the Hitman games. Although I am dog shit at them, I very much enjoy them. And based on the trailer, and like, you know, when you know studios, like the way their games work, when you're watching a trailer, you can tell what's cinematic versus gameplay. The bits that looked like they were gameplay, it was like, okay, cool. All of the stealth stuff is going to feel really familiar if you're a Hitman fan. But they've done what I was really hoping they'd do. Instead of just making it a Hitman game, but James Bond, they've gone, right, we're going to take the stuff that works from Hitman, but we're also going to round out the other stuff so that if you want to just go all guns blazing and be a fucking psycho, it's easier to do that and you're not going to get punished for it as heavily. So I'm very bullish on this. I think it's going to be really good. As I've been very clear about, Amazon's about to ruin the James Bond film series. So the notion I have something Bond excited to be about is quite pleasant at the minute.
Or is this one you're likely to check out just because of the IP? Are you a James Bond guy?
I do enjoy the films. I don't know if I would check it out. I've played the Hitman games in the past. It's not that I like dislike them. I'm just not. They're not my go-to sort of game to play.
I hate stealth games. Even in Assassin's Creed, obviously, it's the Assassin's game. They encourage you to be an assassin. I always just go in all guns blazing. I
don't mind.
Too impatient.
I'm just, it's just not my go-to game. So I probably won't check it out. I hope it is good though, because I do think there's a lot of potential there for like a good blend of taking the Hitman stuff but adding to it.
Absolutely.
We saw Ninja Gaiden Ragebound July 31st, a new trailer for that, and Neo 3. Oh, go on, Con.
Can you explain this to me? Because maybe I'm just tripping balls.
Yeah.
Is Ninja Gaiden now not owned by Xbox? Or do they just have a really close relationship with the studio and that's why they're all like day one Game Pass now? Because like all the old ones got put in Game Pass, and I thought like Ninjas or whatever the studio's called got bought by Xbox.
I'm pretty sure Ninja Gaiden 4 is day one with Game Pass. Ragebound is it's either a remake or just a smaller title. Don't quote me on that.
Quick Google, Ninja Gaiden 4 was a case where Xbox has partnered with them to get.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because they've made such a big deal out of Ninja Gaiden. I got the impression they were like, they own that studio now. So when I saw that a Ninja Gaiden game was on the PlayStation State of Play, I was like, what's happening? I know Xbox like don't care where you play their games now, as long as you play their games, but this might be a step too far. Okay,
So
cool. That makes more sense.
From what I'm looking at now, 4 is by Team Ninja, like the main dev. Ragebound is a spin-off by the Game Kitchen.
That makes sense.
So it's more of like a 2D side scroller.
Awesome.
So it's a little bit different. Another one that looks really cool. I'm very much in my 2D side scroller era at the minute, especially with Switch now. Hopefully, a lot of these games come to Switch and I can get my use out of there, because I didn't use the Switch OLED or the Switch One anywhere near enough.
Switch 2 is very powerful. People are saying Cyberpunk's running really nicely on it.
I have seen very good things, and I have been playing Pokemon Violet from Scarlet and Violet. That ran it's probably like the worst running Pokemon game, mainline game of all time. It is now running perfectly, dare I say. I'm about 10 hours into a new save. I haven't encountered one glitch, bug. Everything loads in as it should. The render distance is great. The FPS is great. It genuinely feels like a whole different game. And
awesome.
All the people who played Scarlet and Violet will know how terrible the first one was. The concept was great, but the game just ran like it was literally like a slideshow. It wasn't a good time at all. But I'm very much impressed by the Switch at the minute.
Good stuff.
Okay.
We got a Neo 3 announcement trailer. I say announcement. I feel like it's not the first time we've seen it. Maybe at Game Awards. I can't actually remember. And then a big one that all my social medias will pop in. Pragmata after a 5-year hiatus. I did double check. I thought, and I was right. It was the state of play in 2020 where we first saw this, and then never heard anything about it since. A little bit like Insomniac's Wolverine, which unfortunately didn't show up at the showcase.
Yeah,
like
I'm just crying and sobbing. You're laughing at my pain, but it's fine.
We got a trailer for Pragmata. It looks. I didn't like the little girl. It very much gave. What's the film like? Annabelle, like like the creepy little doll.
Yeah.
Oh, like Megan.
Megan, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it gave me very like creepy vibes. I thought it was a bit strange, but the actual game itself looks really good. One I will probably check out. Another one I'll check out, Silent Hill F. This is the Silent Hill game based in Japan. It looks.
So does the F stand for feudal, or?
That is a question that you will have to Google, mate. The game itself looks. The game itself looks fantastic. Very odd, very creepy. Some of the ghouls that they were showing at that showcase. It won September 25th, coming out near Halloween, so it's definitely one I'll check out. Have you found out what the F means in Silent Hill F?
I can't tell if it's supposed to be feudal Japan or not.
Let's just say yes.
The F stands for ghoul. It's just silent.
No, silent ghoul. Silent
it stands
ghoul.
for fog.
Fog.
It apparently is set in the feudal period.
Okay. Either way, it looks scary as fuck. That's what the F means. Silent Hill, fucking scary.
Fuck that.
We got one, Sword of the Sea. Con, I think you'll like this game. It looks very much like Journey, but you are riding around on a sword. It looks sick.
Okay.
That got a date as well, August 19th. Very close, a couple of months away. It will be day one on the PS game catalog. So I will be there, likely getting. It is made by made by the same people that made
Abzu
and Pathless.
The Pathless, yeah.
Yeah. It looks fantastic. I'm hoping it's got a good trophy guide because I will be there. Potential video, who knows? Probably not. But that looks fantastic. August 19th. And then I think a couple of things we're missing, in my opinion, about the showcase before we go on to what ended it. Obviously, Wolverine. We won't go into that one. We thought we was going to see it. We didn't.
I think that big hack and leak like 2 years ago now has really, really hurt that game. I think it caused a massive downturn in morale from the team. Then obviously Spider-Man 2 came out. Great game. But rightly so, there were some valid criticisms about the game. And I think it's caused a little bit of a indecision panic mindset to take place at Insomniac. And I think it's causing everything to take a bit longer. And I think it's going to end up being a good game. But I think it's going to go through hell and back before we see it.
Yeah, it was a weird one because obviously there's always been the differentiation with Sony between a state of play and a showcase. They tend to put the bangers in a showcase, and a state of play is just your usual sort of announcements. If there is a showcase, it might be in the next one, or whenever that will be. Who knows? And then Resident Evil have always had a close relationship with PlayStation. Most of the time, Resident Evil's announced it is at a PlayStation show. Obviously, we now know that we got it at Summer Games Fest, but I thought it was a bit strange it wasn't included with PlayStation. I think the fans would have popped off with that one. Instead, the show ender. You two will break this one down for me as the Marvel fans. Marvel Tokon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Fighting Souls. The Arc System logo popped up, which anyone familiar with fighting games will know that's a huge deal. We got Marvel in Japan for a fighting game. Now, obviously, as a result, is one that I'm not going to play. I'm not a fighting game guy, but I know people who love this dev and obviously Marvel, combine it all together. A lot of people are hyped for this.
Yeah.
I think Marvel have done a phenomenal job in the last 2 years of getting into the gaming area. Because for the longest time, you asked a casual person what was better, Marvel or DC. Average person doesn't read comics, so they go, oh, Marvel films are killing it, DC owns games. That was, for the longest time, like the normie opinion of Marvel and DC. And Marvel are just yanking their chain in the games department at the minute. Sony have come out and released 2 phenomenal Spider-Man, or 3 phenomenal Spider-Man games. You've had Marvel Rivals, which have been phenomenally successful. You've got a couple of exciting Marvel games still in development, more story-focused games. And then you've got stuff like this and Cosmic Invasion and all of that stuff.
Marvel Snap.
Marvel Snap is genuinely such a moneymaker. And as we were saying kind of earlier about not every game is for everyone, Marvel have gone, we are going to make a Marvel game for everyone.
Yeah.
And they're just working their way around and they go, everyone will have a Marvel game they play on a semi-regular basis. That's their mission right now. And it's fucking working. And they're giving these IPs to development teams who know what the fuck they're doing with that style of game.
I mean, I'm not I've played fighting games, but I'm not like a go-to.
Oh, I won't be playing it yet.
My reaction to my reaction to this, because the way they were showing, I was like, as soon as they started showing characters tagging in, and then they're like, this is a 3v3 tag-in system.
Is it not 4v4?
Oh, maybe 4v4.
I think the other superhero fighting game is 3v3.
But as soon as I saw that, it's from Arc System, who are well loved. It looks polished. It's got a fuck ton of characters already by the looks of it. Like a good starting selection from what they've revealed. My immediate thought was rip Riot Games and 2XKO. Because their whole thing of their fighting game is like, we are developing this tag-in system and like this, and then you've just got Arc Systems just come along and gone, yeah, but we can do it better. Like, and we can get it out quicker. And it, like, I do think having the Marvel IP on it will draw people a lot more than, like, Riot IP will be good, but Riot IP is loved by League players who aren't fighting game players. They were already going to struggle to pull the fighting game community over. Now they've got even less chance.
And here's the thing, the Riot universe they build for their game will no doubt be great. But you fall in love with them characters by playing the game. If you are someone who loves fighting games and you're a Marvel fan already, you're gonna go, holy shit, I'm gonna fuck up some people's Thor or whoever.
Or be Doom with a pistol and shoot someone, because that
Do you know what I
clip
mean?
was sick.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. We've seen it happen time and time again. If you make a really solid game and then just shove the Marvel IP on it and make it like make sense, people are gonna be like, yeah, sweet. It's characters I already know some of at least, and I enjoy, and it's a style of game I enjoy. What's not to like?
I mean, I was almost tempted when I saw Iron Man as a Gundam design, because someone's already put it side by side and he is 100% in a Gundam design suit, but it's Iron Man. I'm like,
though, was it brave of Marvel to greenlight this, bearing in mind that multiverse is flashed in the pan so aggressively like less than a year ago?
Maybe, but I think
because Multiverse's entire idea was people like fighting games, let's just throw our IPs at one.
That went well, didn't it?
I think they're letting the studios have free reign more so. Like they're not holding them strict to the designs. They're letting them pull designs that have already existed in comics or getting creative with it, and they're just making them go, yeah, just say it's in a different universe than the standard. Like, we're okay with that. And I think that's helping because studios aren't feeling like restricted.
I think letting a studio like come up with their own visual design language for these iconic characters and then going, right, make your base style whatever the fuck you want. Just make sure for the diehard fans that you sell like more comic accurate skins, and you'll make a fuck ton of money, we'll make a fuck ton of money, and it will all make sense. Because everyone's knee-jerk reaction is, oh, that doesn't look like how they look in the comics. And then 3 months later, they go, here's a $10 comic accurate skin. And the people who care about that instantly go, yoink, mine.
Yep.
And I'm one of them people. I'm an idiot. I'll fall for it. But yeah, I won't be playing the game despite how brilliant it looks because I'm not a fighting game person. But for the fighting game community out there, I hope they fucking love it, and I hope it's.
I mean, from what I saw on, because I follow a couple of people on Twitter that are like into fighting games, they were very excited, and things like they said this is, you can tell Arc System knows what they're doing because it seems like it's a one health bar situation, which then they were like, oh, it makes sense with the name Fighting Souls. They're just going to make it be like they all share the same soul. Whereas like Riot's one is when a character swaps out, the health bar swaps. And there's like shit like that is more complex. For just simple in fighting games is sometimes just better.
Yeah, so absolutely. Let the skill gap be the difference maker.
Yeah.
So I can confirm it is a 4v4 tag team. No official date, 2026 on PS5, Steam, and Epic, so no Xbox. Will it eventually come to Xbox?
Well, I mean, with the new Xbox, because everything's an Xbox and it's on Steam, that's essentially on Xbox.
I mean,
can't
argue that logic. Play everywhere, mate. Play everywhere.
Yeah, man.
But overall, I thought it was an okay showcase. Obviously, a couple of things letting it down for me, and I know a lot of people. It's hard because a lot of people that said it was a letdown of a showcase just don't like fighting games, myself included. Whereas fighting games, like I said earlier, probably thought it was like one of the best showcase state of plays there's ever been. So it's just one of them ones where it's a big IP, but the type of game itself isn't necessarily for everyone. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid showcase.
I think if this caliber of reveal wasn't for the fighting genre, but for like story or FPS genre, they wouldn't have called it a state of play, they'd have called it a showcase. But they're aware that the fighting community, despite being very passionate, is so much smaller that they didn't think it was going to be a big enough reveal. But I think in caliber of reveal for that community, it was phenomenally big. But like say, a lot of gamers don't care for fighting games enough for that to be a massive reveal.
No, very well put. Overall, good showcase. But that leads us on to another good showcase, Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, boy.
The main event that was Friday night with our boy Jeff Keighley, co-hosted by Lucy James. an interesting showcase. Some things I thought were missing. A lot of games that I'm looking to check out. A good variety of games, I think. A lot of tweets I've seen have said, if you're a Souls-like enjoyer, you had a great weekend. And I think that's fair enough. There is a lot of Souls-looking games.
Souls-likes are on the
Ring
rise
effect.
big time. Yeah, I feel like with Elden Ring, they realised that you can make a Souls-like as long as you give players the ability to run off and do something else if they're getting their ass beat. Because the old Souls games were so linear, it was like, no, you have to headbutt this wall till you get past it. And a lot of players are just like, no, fuck that. Whereas now they've gone, right, if you're headbutting that wall and you're not ready to bleed for it, run away, do something else, come back when you're stronger. And I think that's made a lot of developers go, that's how we get them, because everyone wants these games, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it's the trend. It's what we always see happens. A certain game in a certain genre pops off, and then a year or two later, suddenly 4 new games in that genre pop up because they're all chasing the trend. But yeah.
So again, I will preface these games are in no particular order. They're just ones that I've picked out that I think we'll either play or of significance subjectively, obviously. But we had Chronicles of Medieval, one that I won't play, but I thought I'd mention because it was interesting. They had Tom Hardy voiced the trailer.
What an actor.
Just the game itself, again, the game on paper looks good. It's just not my type of game. I won't be playing it. But yeah, I thought it was
I know a
interesting.
lot of people are very excited for that, and it does look good. I'm the same as you, like JL. Medieval style games tend not to be my kind of thing. I know Luke was like, yeah, that's a bit of me.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm always excited when other gamers have a game they're excited for.
Yeah, it like sits on the edge of maybe a game I would play.
Yeah, it does.
It's one of them ones that if
like
it comes out and it's got really good reviews, Horry will cave, give it a chance, and then we won't see him for 3 weeks.
It's one of those where it's like, if it leans more Total War-esque, where you're just like controlling an army, I'm a bit like, eh. If it's more like RTS Civ leaning,
a bit strategy sided,
yeah, I'll be like, oh, I might give that
a go. We had Ill, cool name for a game that looks terrifying. No release date, but it just looked very strange, and I believe it was the one where at the end of the trailer he sort of like punches a baby in the head.
Oh, he
like kicks the baby across the room. Yeah,
and everyone was like, "Oh, I'm sold."
Yeah.
See, as a horror game enjoyer, but not a horror game player, I'm very excited because there's a lot of really good horror games coming out, and I just need all of my favorite content creators to play all of them, so I have hundreds of hours of YouTube content to watch. Or I'm gonna need to just get over my thing with horror games and finally start enjoying what I genuinely think, ironically, despite spending maybe 3 hours of my life playing horror games, I think they're my favorite genre of games.
As a avid horror game enjoyer, like nothing beats the thrill of like playing a game. And when I play them, I make sure I have lights off, like try and be as immersed as possible. But I'm always down for a first-person horror. I always think in first person, the jump scares just hit better than third person. Like Silent Hill, don't get me wrong, fantastic game. Games like Resident Evil, Biohazard, they just straight up make you jump more, in my opinion. It's very much opinionated, but yeah, I thought that looked very good. Lego Voyagers, another cool one. Sort of a co-op adventure game from what I could see. You start as a 1x1 block. You have to help each other traverse the world, and it's got a cool feature similarly to It Takes Two and Split Fiction. Only one of you needs to own the game. The other one can be
invited that this is becoming a thing
from a friend pass. Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic feature in my opinion.
Lego Voyagers isn't being made by the same people who made Split Fiction and that, is it? Because before this, they were the only people I know of that did friend pass.
Yeah, Hazelight are the only people. It Takes Two and Split Fiction are the only games that I recall doing it.
A Way Out had friend pass, no?
That's Hazelight by the same people.
Yeah, no. I was just checking that started with A Way Out. So the fact that this is starting to bleed over into other companies who are making co-op games is such a W change in the industry caused by Hazelight, and Hazelight will always get a lot of love from me for causing that kind of shift, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. One that we'll probably end up checking out. I can't remember where they said it was releasing, whether it was going to be on Game Pass, or I feel like maybe
The
Xbox
first one
would
was on
have
Game
tried to get
Pass.
there. Either way, one I'll definitely be checking out. And then one that I do want to discuss. I haven't played the first one because I remember when it first came out, there was lots of trailers for it. I don't think it reviewed the best, but this one, Atomic Heart 2, personally looks unbelievable. I thought it was probably one of the best games that we saw over the whole weekend. I know that's a bold claim.
It really sold itself well.
The trailer was
absolutely
fantastic.
put its best foot forward.
It did. I haven't played the first one, but I know how wacky the first one is.
I downloaded the first one, and then as I do phenomenally well, got distracted and never played it.
Classic.
I was sat there watching. I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting. This looks like a bit of me." And then I saw like the gold robot lady. I was like, "Hey, that's like the one from Atomic Heart." But this looks nothing like Atomic Heart. And then Atomic Heart 2, I was like, oh no, shit, this is Atomic Heart. Very, very funny. Wackier. Yeah, I think they've just realised what worked from the first game, maybe, and lent more on that. Or maybe you need to have played the first game to understand why this makes sense, looking the way it looks now.
I think it's one of those things as well. You give people a taste of this world that you kind of want to build in the first one. People are like, okay, I kind of vibe with this. I'm in, and then you can go, oh, now we can go wacky because you're locked into this.
I need to go play Atomic Heart. I need to go play so many games. There are so many sequels that I'm like, I really want to play that. So I now have a million original games that I need to play to get ready for the sequels to come out.
I reckon we'll be in the same boat as a lot of people who saw the reviews. I'm looking at Atomic Heart 1 now, and it's a 70 on Metacritic, which is how I remembered.
Yeah.
And that's why it is on my backlog. I've got my spreadsheet up here, and it is on my backlog to come around to because it is on Game Pass, to my best knowledge.
It definitely was.
I feel like we're going to be in the same boat as a lot of people who saw that trailer for the new one and are going to go back and play the first one.
For anyone who cares, the first one is currently £18 on Steam. It's on sale from £55. So if you are like me and Josh and we're like, oh, we need to play that, and you don't have Game Pass, or you just want it on Steam, there you go. It's 20 quid right now. And on Steam, it has very positive reviews.
It is no longer on Game Pass. From
Sad.
Unless I'm reading that wrong. It was removed 9 months ago.
So it was there for the first 3 months, I think it's been out for about a year.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, either way, one that all three of us, I can imagine checking out if the reviews are good. And then, just when we thought they were done, they announced the Cube, which again looks very interesting. Set in the same universe as Atomic Heart. They didn't really go into a lot of detail as to what it was sort of actually going to be. It looks like very much RPG shooter. It was hard to tell if it was going to be a BR or just what it was. But either way, it looked really cool. The terrain, for anyone who hasn't seen the announcement, it's like a massive cube where every surface level has a different biome, essentially, and it's constantly turning like a Rubik's Cube type thing. And overall, it just looks really good. Obviously, like I say, we don't really know what it is yet.
No.
Very excited to hear more about it, which isn't something I ever thought I'd say about the Atomic Heart universe. But yeah, I think it looks fantastic. No dates or anything yet, unfortunately. But one that we'll be excited to keep an eye out for. We got another Death Stranding trailer, and I watched this in absolute confusion. I, like a lot of people, didn't have a Scooby what was going on. I don't know if you need to have played the first one to understand it. I was in a call with my friend at the time when I was watching a showcase. He has played the first one and didn't even know it was Death Stranding. So who knows
Yeah, but
really?
that's
Would
just
it-
Death
would it-
Stranding.
Would it even be a Hido game though if you actually understood what the fuck was going on from the trailer? Do
I
you
mean,
not
that
need
is-
to be a
that
little
is a
bit lost
Kojima
before,
thing, yeah.
before you start the game? Is that not like a prerequisite?
I mean, I feel like it has to be because I was absolutely baffled. But the game comes out within the next 2 weeks as we're recording, so I'm sure it's going to do well, and I'm assuming that was going to be the last trailer we saw for it. And then what else did we have? Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which you mentioned earlier. Another game that I probably won't play. It was like a bit of a beat 'em up type thing.
Yeah, beat 'em ups on the rise. You had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, which was also made
Shredder's
by this
Revenge
company.
reviewed very well.
Yeah. Now they're making this one, and then I know later on they announced another new one from the same company. And yeah, this kind of 8-bit style, I know it's not actual 8-bit,
Retro.
but the 8-bit style, retro style, side-scrolling and beat 'em ups are back. Like, where's my Jackie Chan remake? You know the one, the fucking Game Boy one, where you have to go through all the missions as Jackie Chan and get his old totem back from his old Nickelodeon show. Give me a remake of that game. That's what I want.
Nostalgia sells. That's why these have been
I mean,
made.
And they showed, because to my knowledge, there's a lot of characters, but a lot of them hadn't been announced yet. And from the
I
trailer
think
we
they
saw,
released 2 new ones.
was it She-Hulk and Rocket?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
the
believe were
two,
the two
that no one knew about that had been revealed
that
in
we
this
saw.
trailer.
So pretty cool. I know people who enjoy these games popped for that. So always happy for them. People enjoying different genres. One that I very much like the look of, and that a couple of us discussed briefly in the Discord, was Killer In. And I think it was you, Hori, that described it the best. It looks like Cluedo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's got a different name in America as it has in the UK.
No,
But it's essentially
It
like,
does. It's just called Clue in America
Oh.
because
Okay.
how dare you have extra letters to give it a bit of a vibe, you know?
So it's sort of like the murder
it's an
mystery.
Among Us game. It's an Among Us game. But, yeah, cool. Maybe we'll give it a go. How
It's-
expensive is it going to be?
It's like, I think I said in the Discord, it's Clue but with guns. And then I was like, it was Mrs. White with the uwu skinned MP5 in the billiard room. I mean,
I
If
thought
it's
it looked
like
really cool.
relatively cheap, I'm down for us all to buy it and play it. And then we could just throw in lobbies and make people lose their mind. It'll be great.
That's the thing.
care.
It's a 24-player online
yes.
Yeah.
game. I don't have 24 friends, or 23, should I say, myself. And I don't know how well it would work if we played it just like as a group of 6 or 7 of us or whatever. I don't know whether we'd have to take us lot into a bigger lobby to get the full experience.
Yeah. I get
Murder
that.
Rampage.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure how it works. I thought it looks really cool.
There's definitely something there.
I don't believe it got a date, so it's one we're
It
gonna have to keep
didn't.
our eyes peeled on. And then the game that actually opened the show, Mortal Shell 2. Now, I've not played the first one. It was one of them situations where they announced a sequel to a game that I didn't know existed in the first place, and this was one of them, Mortal Shell 2. Very up my street, good-looking Souls. Like, I am there for any of that type of game, to be honest. So one that I definitely want to check out when it comes to it.
The trailer was very well put together with the music choice. I seem to remember the first one coming out, and it was obviously before Elden Ring, so it was when Souls-likes were still not the most popular, and I think probably was more like the older Souls-like, very linear, very slam your head against the wall, which is probably why it didn't take off massively.
The big thing that trailer gave me is if you enjoy Souls games, it's very Souls-like, but it also has like them like big finishers and beating the shit out of someone that gives a bit of a Doom vibe. So like there is definitely a lot of people who are like, yeah, let me fight this fucking boss for 6 hours, and then when I eventually beat it, give me a really cool fucking animation of me crushing its skull. And I see why a game like this would be popular. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm looking now. The first one came out 18th of August 2020, which was obviously before New Gen. So I can imagine the people who enjoyed this game are very much looking forward to a newer one on more enhanced consoles.
Yeah.
Just 5 years later, it's just going to be better overall. And one I think looks fantastic myself. Another cool one, a co-op brawler. again, it's an IP that I love in Scott Pilgrim, but a game that I probably won't play just because of it. And it's being made by the original creator, Brian Lee O'Malley. I thought the trailer was really cool.
Yeah, it's the same company that made Cosmic Invasion and Shredder's Revenge. It's that style of game, which they must be the best in the world at this point. And yeah, it's more co-op-y. They've added a story to it. The original writers come back to do the story for it. This game could genuinely do very, very well.
It's one of the ones where the IP, I love Scott Pilgrim, and the IP could be enough to maybe dabble and see if I like it.
See, I could see this being the kind of thing where this tricks you into giving it a go. You fucking love it, and then you go back and play like Shredder's Revenge and Cosmic Invasion because you're like, okay, let's see what else you've got.
How long before this game studio makes us a Wu-Tang one?
I don't feel like... I feel like we're only allowed to get a Wu-Tang game every 15, 20 years, so maybe
when we're 50.
yeah, we'll be dabbling in a new one. Hitman. You'll probably enjoyed this. Mads Mikkelsen came out on stage. We have a Casino Royale level in Hitman, which I like Casino Royale, don't like Hitman, so I won't be playing it, won't be checking it out. Checking it out.
If I can pull myself away from Minecraft, I will play it because I've been enjoying Hitman again at the minute. I'm a bit of a Hitman era again. If I can pull myself away from Minecraft and my crops, I will give this a go. But I know it's only live for like a week, and I don't know if I'm going to get there in time. But fucking awesome way to kind of build hype around a new game with the 007 First Light and kind of go, right, remember that like great Bond film? How would you like to feel a little bit like James Bond to get ready for a full James Bond game? And I thought it was brilliant. And seeing Mads come out, kind of sell us on it, and him talk about like his performance, like it was like a full in-depth story and not Hitman, I fucking loved. It was great, really, really cool. And according to some people who've now played it, because obviously it went live literally an hour after the showcase finished, apparently it's very, very good.
And to my knowledge, I believe they mentioned that if you play this Casino Royale level, you get some sort of skin or unlock for First Light.
Yes, that is true. I think there's like 3 rewards you get. I think it's a skin, a gun, and something else.
So any IO fans, feel free to check that out if it's still up. I know you said it had a short duration.
I think it's up till this Friday, so yesterday as this episode's come out. Because I think it was a week from when it went live.
In which case, unlucky. If you were interested in it, you would have got it by now. One for Horry to discuss. Ark Raiders. We got a release date. Was you excited to get a release date for October 30th?
Yes and no. More so no.
You believe the internet.
So, to be fair, it wasn't just like I believed the internet. It was very much the devs accidentally led everyone to believe. And to be fair to the devs, because everyone very much, almost 100% presumed we were getting this shadow dropped.
Yeah, for context, you thought it was going to be shadow dropped at Summer Games Fest.
And so did everyone that had played the playtest.
And yeah, I think the problem really was the playtest was so well polished that everyone was fully like, this game is ready to fucking ship.
Exactly.
If there would have been more bugs in the playtest, people would have been like, it's not quite ready, it won't be a shadow drop, they're not there yet. But I think the playtest went so smoothly, everyone was like, this game's ready to ship. It's coming out now.
So it's like, Ark Raiders comes on, and they have trailer. And then they worded it as like, and a release date, and I was like, is that just to like mislead us still? Trailer goes and it ends with October 30th. Immediately I'm like, what? No, I wanted shadow drop. Obviously I'm like very excited we have a date. The funny thing to me, looking on it further, is that is just under a month after Marathon's meant to have come out. They are fully bargaining on like, we'll just let Marathon burn for a month. People will get bored of it. Then we're just going to sweep up the entire extraction shooter market. Obviously, a lot of people were very upset because they felt like they'd been misled, which I think is a fair response. The devs on the Arc Raiders Discord, I think the same day, pretty much came out with an apology. Because, so for context of why everyone thought there was a shadow drop, like, I want to say a couple weeks before Summer Games Fest, a random update was pushed for the Arc Raiders playtest, but then was very quickly stopped and taken away. It wasn't meant to get pushed. But in the time that it got pushed, obviously people's Steam's auto-updated. A bunch of people got the update, and in the files, there was a new executable, and it had a timer for the 6th of June. So that countdown timer, then obviously everyone's like, oh, countdown timer, we already think it's going to shadow drop. This basically confirms it. And the devs have come out and said, like, we realized that was a fuck up. We were just excited to say we have a release date.
That an announcement, yeah.
Because we're excited about this game, but we understand how that has misled everyone. And obviously, we've misled the hype, and that's on us. But do know that we are using this time to really work on the game and get it as best as possible. And I do think they're going to absolutely cook with this extra time. Like, I do think this is going to just make the game even better when it comes out.
Yeah. They're definitely going to benefit
excited
from this extra time.
Yeah, I would have loved for the game to have shadow dropped and be already playing it. But I'm okay with, it was already polished a lot by playtest. I know this is just going to be them adding more content, and it's going to be the same polish level. And I think there's a bit of them that are like, oh, Marathon's in trouble at the moment. We can just drop a month after them, of where everyone's given Marathon a go, probably got bored of it, if this is if Marathon sticks to its release date. And then like they're just going to come in and kind of take over. So overall, I think it's a good thing.
I mean, 30th, it's not long.
No, it isn't.
That time will whiz by.
Yeah.
So you've got something to look forward to there, mate. I know you was very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
On a
Look
day
at me so sad.
No, I'm like, let's be real.
He's going to cry.
I don't have as much time to game anymore, so if anything, this gives me time I could book off if I wanted to.
Now he understands. He realizes the shadow drops aren't a good thing.
2 months ago, I was all for the shadow drop.
Yeah.
No, not so much.
Now you're like,
Not so
yes,
much.
shadow drops are hype. However, what's more hype is being able to play the game on release because you've had time to book the time off.
Yes.
One, we want to shout out our good friend, Jurassic World Evo 3. Unfortunately, apologies, Luke, who worked on the game. It's not my type of game. Just the whole. I was a big roller coaster tycoon guy back in the day. Not so much anymore. This is essentially Jurassic World Tycoon.
Yeah.
Very cool. Just again, not my type of game. Pretty much.
It definitely would be my type of game. It's just will I get to it? I could see me very easily playing this.
If I had a handheld gaming device, I'd be very likely to play this.
Some good news for you later on then in this episode.
Well, like, this is absolutely the kind of thing, if I was there watching TV and I can just have like a decent console on my lap, that I'm like, yeah, let me just like make some horrific creation and make a cool attraction while I'm watching my TV shows, big chillin', like.
Luke, will this game be coming to Switch 2?
Yeah, that's good. Have Mario visit the Jurassic World Park.
Some crossovers going on there. One I really didn't like. I just don't like VR in general.
VR sucks.
VR does suck, and it's annoying.
It's been around for like 15 years now, and they've not released a good game. Not a singular good one.
The only thing that I will happily say VR goes for is when you're doing either flight sim, race sim, where you're literally
Or-
sat. No, oh, well,
Yeah.
or the orange streaming site.
If
Like an orange website.
even if someone has the most expensive racing sim I've ever seen, if I see a VR headset in their room, I'm assuming it's for porn. I'm not assuming it's for the racing setup. It's that simple.
Here's the thing: it's like racing sims. If you've got the space, I'd rather have like the full 3 monitor setup because you've got that like quicker,
Comfortable, less eye fatigue.
But I get that like it is a very good use case for like a smaller space sim setup. But yeah, outside of that, trying to do actual games on VR is not.
So it's limited to literally one VR device, isn't it? It's literally just the Oculus 3.
Yeah,
the
so
Quest 3.
I've got a Meta Quest 2, so not that I was going to play it, but it automatically rules me out. It's not even that old, which I feel like is a bit of a kick in the teeth.
You need to buy all new hardware to play this game. The games that used to be system sellers, like if you think about games as system sellers, you've got Mario Kart, fucking Spider-Man, and then they're like Deadpool VR voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. I'm like, no.
I just clocked that we hadn't actually said what the game was. We were just slagging off VR. it was the Deadpool.
I was so fucking excited because there was an old 360 game that was a Deadpool game voiced by Nolan North. And that game is fucking iconic. I love it. And I saw Deadpool. I knew it was obviously Summer Game Fest. I was like, holy fuck, are they actually going to like remaster it or make a new one? And then I see it's VR and I was like, oh my God, I hate everything. I did a 180 so quick. I
thought we got a new Deadpool game because it also started off with the Deadpool humor, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're finally making a new one." And then the thing that immediately gave it away was the floating hands on the 3D model. I was like, "Oh, this is VR." And then it ends with only on the Meta Quest 3, and it's like, what's the fucking point in that then? Like your already narrow player base has just got minuscule.
3 people are going to play this game, and 2 of them helped make it.
But yeah, the further we get rid of that one, the better. One that I am so excited for, popped hugely for it coming up, and then Jeff didn't give us a date, which I wanted to cry. Mixtape, the coming of age game by Annapurna. I believe it was the same like specific team that made Artful Escape, which I also loved. The soundtrack looks amazing. The gameplay looks amazing. Everything about this game just screams me, and we still don't have a date for it. I've got hope that it will come out late this year.
The planned release date is 2025.
It's still slated for 2025.
Copium.
I was surprised because I think this was the 2nd or 3rd time we'd seen it, so I was surprised we didn't get a date. I think we first saw it last Summer Games Fest.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But I think that was right. But either way, I cannot wait. Gutted we didn't get a date.
Sucker for a coming of age story. I always have been. And the fact that I've never really played a game that's got a coming of age story is actually quite alarming to me because it's like my favourite genre of story. I don't know how I haven't played a game with that as the main theme.
Life is strange. Life is strange. Play it
woke now. Nonsense.
Stuff. Another thing that I was gutted about after being excited, Lego Party. Basically a Super Mario Party game.
It's going to be on Steam though, isn't it?
It is, and I come bringing Copium.
There will be someone on Steam who makes a nice, easy mod that will make it.
I was going to say, it is going to be a Steam game, and it seems like it's only... There's no mention of consoles, so like this is a PC game. Someone will very quickly mod that to have bigger player lobbies.
Yeah, let's hope so. So for context, we got this cool Lego Party game. There's 60+ mini games, essentially like your Pummel Party, Super Mario.
And there's like 12 trillion variations of how you can make your character because you get to build your own minifigure. Yeah. I'm going to spend 6 days just building my minifigure before I even play a fucking game.
It's the smartest idea that I'm surprised Lego's not done sooner with a game.
Well, for a long time, Lego was just like IP film games, and that made them more money than God, in all fairness. And now they are starting to branch out into this right.
I remember Lego.
Lego is not limited to IPs. What else can we do here? and I'm so excited. I want everyone to book this in as a recurring thing.
Here's the thing: 4 players, like we can still play that and have a good time. Obviously, it's just like the party games are always more fun when there is more players.
100%. Yeah.
And like, I'm not being funny. I know like there's 5 of us that were like in the chat discussing it at the time, but realistically, Con would join in and play with us, wouldn't he, JL?
Yeah, 100%,
and like Jewel or whatever, and whoever. Like, if it was like a limit of 12 players, we would probably be able to get up to 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And like, I'd rather be in that situation than, it's a rare occasion, but all 5 of us are like, I'm down, and then we've got to say to someone, sorry, we don't have room for you.
Yeah, because we played Pummel Party with, that's 6-player lobbies, isn't it? Or 6 to 8, or
that's up to 8, and we played that with 6.
Yeah, so it was gutting, especially that they didn't put it in the trailer, and we only found out it was 4 players in the press release afterwards.
Yeah,
maybe they'll do an update that increases player.
Yeah. I hope they just
there
got
is
a
a lot of
bunch of
outrage.
tweets. Just 4! I want to play that with every person on the planet. I don't care how long it takes.
That will be a fun run. Some of the minigames looks class, and I believe they said at launch there's going to be 60 different minigames.
Yeah, so many.
And they will add more.
Oh, 100%. A strange one that I won't be playing, a Game of Thrones RTS. The weirdest thing for me was the trailer looked unbelievable. Like, if that was an actual
This is what RTS do.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's standard RTS behavior. What are you on about?
Like, the amount of times I've seen a trailer for a game, I'm like, oh my god, that looks amazing. I can't wait to play that. And then it transitions into gameplay, and it's top down, and it's just people just dragging and dropping things. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Like, if this game was part of Season 8, it would have got a really good review on IMDb. The episode looked unbelievable. But what I find with RTS games, that there's been quite a few the last couple of years where they do it in the trailers. They show this amazing looking cinematic, and then they show what the gameplay is at the second half of the trailer. Yeah. Whereas this one, we didn't see any gameplay. We just saw this unbelievable Game of Thrones segment, and we don't actually know what the game looks like. We just know that it's an RTS.
The trailer did look amazing. I'm sure the game will be good. I do have to say, I think it is a bad decision to use the likeness of the actors from the show for the character models. So seeing Kit Harington's Jon Snow, I think, is a mistake.
I think, unfortunately,
Game
of Thrones, it's the only thing that still sells Game of Thrones, because Season 8 did such massive damage. You don't have a big enough player base of just people that actually enjoy Game of Thrones in the books. Game of Thrones is so massive.
So why does it need a game? Well, do you know what I mean?
This is also the other question. Of like, we had that mobile game, I think it was last year, that was like, they did some crazy trailer and it's like, oh, this is a Game of Thrones mobile game. They're just trying to milk this for as long as, because I think really they're trying to regain some rep after the fallout of, I don't know, they're just trying to drag out and get some rep back. But this, it's probably not the best way to do it. But it's also the sort of game that I would maybe give a go. So
it could absolutely be very good. But it was kind of obviously such a over the top trailer, and then it just be an RTS.
Standard RTS behavior.
Always the way, mate. Always the way.
Yeah.
One that me and Horry popped for the first time since like PS1 or PS2.
I want to say it was PS1.
PS1. I think there was 2. You had Shaolin
Star was 1999, and that was just PlayStation.
That was on PS1. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one I remember.
Yeah, that was the one I remember. I can't think if there was a second one, but we got a Wu-Tang new announcement, Rise of the Deceiver, it's called. The game's being presented by Ghostface Killer, so the soundtrack is going to be unbelievable. It is a co-op RPG, which I wasn't expecting at first. It sort of looks like a hack and slash.
Yeah.
But either way, it looks unbelievable. From what I can see, it's going to be on Epic and Steam, so Horry, we will be playing this through on PC.
Yep.
As a Wu-Tang fan, didn't expect it,
no.
But very much excited for it.
The big old 2025, seeing a Wu-Tang game was a surprise.
Well, the thing is like, they've been putting out some music again recently. Not that
have they?
not that I've listened to their new stuff. At least on like, I'm sure they have, and I'm sure it's not like old, unless it's like old tracks that were never released and they're now only just officially releasing them.
I'm pretty sure they're touring again this year as well.
But like, we had the Wu-Tang TV show like a couple years back, which I'm pretty sure was actually pretty decent because some of them had like influence on things in that, so they made sure like the story was somewhat right. I mean, I'm down for a Wu-Tang game to come back. Like,
All of it is fucking gorgeous.
it's exactly what they always, the vibe they always had in their music, with putting in the like samurai film audio bites and stuff. So,
like, it looks fucking awesome. I hope it ends up being as fun as it looks.
The art style to me from what we've seen from like the combat looked very. What was the rhythm game that's escaping me that came out on Xbox?
I don't know.
Done very well, and in the studio got shut down. And no one could believe it.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. The combat segments look very Hi-Fi Rush, so it'd be intriguing to see if this is going to be a rhythm game or is it just going to be a co-op.
If it's got Wu-Tang backed music, I wouldn't be surprised if similar to like your Arkham style games, where it is, just press the buttons and you'll find like natural rhythm.
I'll tell you what, a hip hop rhythm game is something I've been waiting for. I'll be so there.
Like it
Put
could,
it
it could be very good.
It could be a walking simulator to Wu-Tang music, and I'd probably still play it. Like, I'm just gonna chill along and listen to Wu-Tang while I play a game. Like, what's not to like?
Valid. Exactly. I often do that anyway, let alone within an actual game itself. One that I have been on the fence for about a year, seeing as we've seen it so many times. Dying Light the Beast. Got a date. I don't know if it already had one, but it has now got August 22nd. So only a couple of months away. I didn't play Dying Light 1, which is what the character in Dying Light 1, I believe the Beast is sort of based after. Because this is a spin-off, it's not a mainline game. I played Dying Light 2, 50 plus hours, absolutely loved it. Zombie games I love, parkour games I love, mixing the two together, unbelievable. I don't know why every time I've seen this one, it always struck me as like more of a mini game, whereas the more I see it now, and they did actually release a sort of separate breakdown of it after the show, it looks like something that I could be tempted with if it's a quiet period of gaming. Again, it's not going to be your full-fledged 50 plus hours to my knowledge. I don't know how long I want it to be, but I might dabble in it. I'm not really
need
sure.
more 20-hour games.
I'm hoping this is like a 15-20 hour.
Yeah, I need to be confident games of 20 hours now because it's the only way I'm going to force myself to play
them. Now, one, Hori, it wasn't your game. It wasn't the shadow drop you wanted, but it was the shadow drop a lot of people popped for. Lies of P Overture, the DLC I believe we saw at the Game Awards. Shadow dropped just on the spot. We got a little gameplay segment of it. Following that, the shadow drop, a lot of people I saw on Twitter went straight on their consoles and installed it. From what I've heard so far, it's very good. It's just more Lies of P.
Lies of P is like one of the more popular Souls, like not made by FromSoft, isn't it?
Yeah. So I have it on disc. I haven't played it because I started. What did I start instead? That's taken up my life. Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I couldn't play. So I went from Dragon Age Veilguard, which I played about 40 hours of, straight into Assassin's Creed, which I'm already like 40 hours into. I haven't got time for all these big games. I need some smaller games. But Lies of P, I'll get around to it eventually, so I'll probably end up playing the Overture. DLC looks very good. And then we're going to close the show. But before that, what are our general thoughts on the showcase prior to this announcement?
I had no games that I was like, oh, maybe. I was either like, yes, I will play that, or no, I will not play that, but it looks good. Every game looked good, other than Deadpool. Like, unironically, even games that I'm like, that's not my kind of game, I was like, oh fuck, that looks good.
Mm.
And of course, there was a lot more games than just we've discussed. We've only discussed the ones that are relevant to us. There was a far more games for people out there. So,
but like everything was either, oh, that looks great, but it's not for me, or that looks great, I can't wait to play it, and VR. Like that was it for me. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was like the one thing I was hoping for didn't happen, but I got a release date, so I'll take it with Arc Raiders. There was a lot of games where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have even expected that or considered that looks kind of good. Things like Wu-Tang, like would never have expected that, but I'm like so in for that. Mm-hmm. And then there's some of the more like RTS style games or like Jurassic World, Evo, like those games where I'm like, oh, actually I would check. I might give them a go at some point, which I wouldn't have known otherwise. But yeah, I think overall it was a solid show. There was a good mix of types of games.
Yeah, I think the same. I think the whole weekend had very good variety of games.
Yes. So, I mean, there was something there for, I think, everyone to at least be happy with one or two games.
I'd be amazed if anyone managed to watch the Xbox Showcase, Summer Games Fest, and PlayStation, and somehow didn't have 3 or 4 games.
There's
they were like,
no good games coming out anymore.
If anyone watched all 3 of them, was genuinely like, none of them games interest me. Maybe you're just not.
Gaming so stale at the minute. What have I got installed? COD and FIFA. Oh, I don't want to play any of these games. The people I hate the most. But yeah, to close the show, a move that is being trolled a lot online. One that originally I was gutted. So about 5-10 minutes before the end of the show, we had a little segment from Capcom because obviously it's coming up to the anniversary. The lady who portrayed Lady Dimitrescu from RE Village came out and sort of said Capcom are putting all of these games into a bundle. You can get it for cheap on the anniversary, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Goes cool. To, yeah, again, people who love Resident Evil games, myself included, got a bundle, go and play them all. Someone from Capcom came out and basically said, yeah, we have a new game. We haven't got anything to show you yet. Sort of keep your eyes peeled type thing. And I could not believe my eyes. As soon as the Capcom came up, the thing for Raccoon City popped up and I was like, this is it. We're going to finally see the game that I expected to see at the State of Play earlier in the week. Didn't get that. And then I thought, oh, because what was his word? And he was like, in the blink of an eye, you'll see the game. So I thought, all right, we're going to go.
Still makes no sense to me because like nothing in the trailer references like blinking of eyes or something. So I thought that was like supposed to be like a story teaser, and instead it was like, how do I say we're going to be on in 15 minutes without saying we're going to be on in 15 minutes?
I thought he was just going like, yeah, in the blink of an eye, and then it was going to transition into the game, but then it just went straight into another game, and I could not believe it. I went on Twitter and along with a lot of other Resident Evil fans, tweeted out, or X, should I say?
Nice.
Posted out saying, like in an uproar, basically, that Capcom have come out and done that and not given us a date. And I quote tweeted someone who was angry about it, and it was like, can't believe my eyes, basically. Closing the show, we get some long trailer, and it's Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
I'm very excited to watch my favourite content creators play this game because I'm too much of a pussy to play it.
I went straight online and everyone was popping off. I still think it's a weird decision the way they done it. Like, obviously, it was quite fun that they put in and then gave us what we wanted, but it's still kind of a bit of a strange thing to do in general. The game looks awesome. There was a lot of and ahhing whether it was going to be closing off Ethan Winter's story, which I'm glad it's not. I'm bored of him. He's a boring bastard. A lot of information has come out that Leon Kennedy will be the main protagonist. So the girl they showed in the trailer was the niece of someone from an earlier game who wasn't a main character, and they also left a note in either Village or Biohazard, and it's like this person's aunt. So a lot of people, even who are Resident Evil fans, didn't put 2 and 2 together because it was like quite a niche character name. And then we got it's like post RE 2 and 3, Raccoon City's been nuked essentially. It looks awesome. And we got a release date, not just a trailer for the first time, a release date, 27th of Feb.
Which is
Which I think,
like really soon, bearing in mind no one even knew this game was like.
that's what I'm saying. Like to release the first trailer of the game and a date within the next
unheard of
8-9 months.
Elder Scrolls 6 could not.
Could never.
This is what I've been saying for years. Yeah, it's nice to know Wolverine game's being worked on. Don't tell me it's coming until you can tell me when I can play it. I'd much rather think there are no games being developed, and then 9 months before the game comes out, then go, oh, by the way, Wolverine's going to be out in 9 months, this is going to be out in 9 months, and then I just panic and go, I need to find money for all these games. I'd much rather that. I don't want to be sitting here going, oh, I hope we get an update on Wolverine for the first time in 9 million fucking years. Sick of it. Thank you, Capcom.
I mean, fair enough. I'm a big RE guy. I played RE4 Remake, Biohazard, and Village all on day one. I just love a horror game. Love Resident Evil. Very much looking forward to this. As always, it looks like it's going to be scary. I mean, and from what I've seen, I don't know how true it is, you can toggle between first and third person.
That is what I've also seen. Apparently, they've made it so that you can play the traditional third person or the more modern first person. The entire game is going to be made to support both, and you can choose your preferred way of player in Resident Evil. Another great fucking option so that they can make the games more modern without people who enjoyed the OG games bitching and moaning about it not being third person anymore.
It's a weird one because I love RE4. It's probably my favorite, and that's third person, but I also I preferred 7 to 8, but again, they're both first person, so it's like I love both. I don't know how I'm going to play it. Just because it's Leon, I'll probably play it in third person, but either way, I can't
play Leon's parts in third, and if you switch to the other character for any of it, play first.
Honestly, it could be a shout. But yeah, 27th Feb. It's a bit of a strange time for a horror game, but I'll be there regardless, so who cares? So yeah, overall, I thought Jeff's show was pretty decent. I feel like it lacked a couple of like big. I feel like that was the thing of the whole weekend. Like there was loads of good games, but I don't feel like there was any like.
I think the
showstoppers. Do you know what I mean?
I think the floor was the highest it's ever been, but the ceiling wasn't that high, if that makes sense. Like the average game that got an update was like, oh fuck, this is really cool. But there was, like you say, there was nothing that makes the chat go a million miles an hour with everyone going, oh my fucking god.
It's a hard one because last year, I feel like Xbox's showcase last summer was arguably the best there's ever been. Top 3 for sure. And I feel like coming out of that, we expected so much throughout this whole weekend, and it just simply can't live up to the showcase that we got last year from Xbox. So,
do you want to have a wild thought? Had GTA 6 not been delayed, that probably would have shown us something at this.
Oh, Jeff would have got that 100%.
Which would have made this whole Summer Games Fest insane.
Yeah, no, but now we can wait for that at the Game Awards, because that'll be like 3 months before release.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
What is it, end of May, did we say?
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's end of May, so it'll be like 6 months before release.
Oh, that's exciting.
Well, we're now within a year of GTA 6 officially.
Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, because I remember last episode we spoke about it. Obviously, we got the news that it and we was out of a year, whereas now we're inside of a year. So it feels good again. We're so back. And then Sunday night, we had Xbox Showcase. Now, as we just discussed, it was very hard to live up to last year.
I think they still fucking cooked. I was really hyped at the end of this.
I've seen a lot of people saying it was a bit meh. I thought it was really good. I really hate the way they closed it. Come on to that.
The amount of clips I've seen to the reaction of the last trailer are hilarious. And people are like, what is this? This looks so interesting. Like,
I thought it looked unbelievable.
God. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this?
We'll get onto that.
I think
I thought I was getting my wish of a brand new sci-fi thing that was going to blow my socks off.
I think the issue the Xbox One had was it was good, and I do think it was quite a hype showcase. The pacing was weird through the middle, and I think that was tough to do anything about when the first thing we got into discussing is like they had such a big announcement at the beginning. It's kind of hard to keep a pace going.
So, like, to stop talking around it, obviously, they announced their handheld console they're doing with Republic Gamers based on the already existing ROG Ally handheld, which is like the top of the market handheld. It competes with your Steam Deck. So really cool. Obviously, it's like the next generation of the Ally, so it's got the faster chip. It's got a newer, lighter version of Windows designed better for handheld gaming that will eventually find its way onto other handhelds anyway, but this is the first place we're going to see it. Very, very exciting. Imagine if they'd have gone through, shown off all these games, and then gone, and one more thing. Every game we've shown you today is going to be playable natively on this. And then you get the reveal of the ROG Xbox Ally. Like, that would have been so much more exciting. Like, especially
100%.
with the quality of some of the games we saw. Like, AAA caliber games and DLCs. And they're like, oh, by the way, here's a handheld that is going to be able to natively play all of these games. And that's how they end. The internet would have been losing its fucking mind. Because it wouldn't have mattered what actual games they'd shown. Everyone would have been like, oh my god, there was 1 or 2 games I'm excited for there. And I'm going to be able to play it on a plane. Brilliant.
I know for a fact marketing would never have done it that way because they'd be too worried that people wouldn't stick around to the end.
Stay around to
and that's all it is, absolutely. But it fucking sucks.
Well, it's that, and then they don't get to use their nice little second title card that they now add on to everything of world premiere or can play day one on Game Pass. Now it's playable anywhere.
Play everywhere.
They're just going to stack all these different little taglines onto each game on a release.
It is funny. It's becoming like, do you remember the old school, like, when we actually had hard disk games? And at the bottom it'd have, like, violent language, drug references, sexual themes. It's genuinely, when it reveals the game now, down in the bottom corner, you've got, like, 9 different tags. It's like, this will be Steam, PlayStation Store, Game Pass Day 1, Xbox Play Anywhere. It's like, what else? Just surely we need less stickers.
But we'll segue onto that. Essentially opening a show instead of ending with it. The ROG Ally.
It's cool.
There's a lot of rumors of it. It was essentially leaked, pretty much. Cool to finally get an announcement, like you say. I liked that there's 2 models, not just one model. So you got the Ally X, I believe, and they're just a standard one. It's essentially a ROG Ally X with a Microsoft logo on it, running Microsoft hardware. What are we saying price-wise? What do we think price-wise? So for context, the ROG Ally X, which is like the best model you can currently buy, is £799. Not sure what that is in dollars. And the standard is $450.
I think they're going to aim to keep them prices the same. I think they can go up to £100 more for each model because it is also a new generation of hardware. They both got the better new chip in them, and people will be like, "That's acceptable." If they can keep that base model at $450, they're gonna do okay. The expensive model is just going to be for enthusiasts anyway, because realistically,
100%.
who is going to decide, oh, I want a games console, I'm going to spend £900 on a handheld when you can get a PlayStation and an Xbox for £900?
Yeah, it will always be for the enthusiasts, similarly to the PS5 Pro. It's for people who want all the bells and whistles.
Well, it's like, and Steam Deck's like $450, $460.
I think the OLED Steam Deck, like the equivalent to like the top model, I think is $600. But they're also more user serviceable. Don't get me wrong, the ROG Ally isn't unuser serviceable, but it's not as user serviceable. But I did like that they were very clear that you can manually upgrade the amount of storage as well. So if you buy the base version, but you're not happy with the half a terabyte that comes with, you can buy yourself a 2 terabyte stick and install that yourself, which is kind of cool as well.
I mean, I think it's the smart play by Xbox to, rather than build their own competing handheld, to just partner with.
I do think that was the biggest shock.
I agree.
Like, you've got Steam in like the not like
handheld sphere.
Yeah, of like PC gaming handheld. You've got Steam Deck, and then you've got like the Asus ones are like the top boys.
Yeah, Lenovo Go's are pretty good apparently as well. And then
it's sort of like a tier below, isn't it? There are tiers, and like you say, I do think that the ROG and because the YouTubers, podcasters, etc. that I know that use the ROG love it. Like, it is very, very good. It's just not as known to like
There's
general
another
gamer.
brand that's really popular. What the fuck's it called?
Like, the big gameplay would have been to do it with Steam Deck, but that would never have happened. Like,
the Iron Neo's another really popular brand.
If Xbox had come out and said,
expensive.
We are now doing the Steam Deck X, and we're basically giving you Xbox Game Pass on a Steam Deck, people would have. Yeah, but like Steam's never going to do that because So like they basically went to the next best thing of when, okay, well, we'll get the big top boy that's third party and we'll just partner with them. And
the biggest surprise was the fact that it was a third party OEM though, because that's never been how Xbox has run. They've always done their own hardware. No. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, I think it's good, but it surprised me.
It's surprised me slightly less than in the past because they did that LG TV thing.
Yeah.
Where they made it so brand new LG TVs can just have the Xbox app straight on it. Like they've already started to move away to this, and then we saw it with the branding and stuff of like, oh, this is an Xbox, this isn't an Xbox. Like they were clearly moving that way of not worrying about making the hardware themselves. So it's honestly smart play by them.
I think someone said, just for context about how powerful this native Xbox Play Anywhere is going to be, every first-party game since 2018 is part of Play Anywhere. So every first-party Xbox title since 2018 will be available on this console, guaranteed. Like, that's a lot of good fucking games that are going to be able to run on this thing. And for the first time ever, like with the way they built this new UI, the games library is going to include games from any of the game platforms. So you can open up your games library and it's going to have Steam logos on there and Game Pass logos and Xbox logos. So I've got like Cyberpunk on my Steam account. I'm going to boot this up. I'll be in my Xbox dashboard and I can see Cyberpunk there and it's going to boot up into Steam, is what they're telling me. This is literally what I've been waiting for a handheld.
I'm interested to see what they do on the console side of things after this. Because if this is a success, like big enough success, and people are buying their handheld, do we think their next generation of console just becomes a dock and they do the second gen of handheld?
I was literally about to ask. So you can dock the Steam Deck. Do we know if you can dock the ROG Ally?
You can dock the current ROG Ally. So the assumption is that you will be able to dock the new ones.
Okay.
Okay, then
at least that's my understanding.
I would be shocked if when we get to the next generation of Xbox console, they don't launch basically the second generation of handheld, but there's also a dock now that's specifically built by them.
So my guess is very similar to that. I think next gen we'll call it the ROG Ally 2 to save confusion, although that won't be how they name it. To replace the S series of consoles. And there will still be a flagship new console. So, as that lower entry tier price point they tried with the S, they're going to give an even more all-in-one package that's going to be, you can dock this to your TV and play, but you can also travel it with you and it can do more than ever. And if you're like a hardcore gamer who wants an actual black box in your front room that is just a gaming machine that you plug in and forget about, here is a more powerful, beefier version, and their plan will be to make that a bit more expensive and make it a bit more powerful, so they can go back to, if you want to play anything anywhere, you can. If you want to have the fastest console on the planet, you can. And that will encapsulate their entire idea of we want to cater to everyone.
Speaking of catering to everyone, I think I mentioned it to you. I use my portal a fair bit, but nowhere near as much as I probably should. And Con, I think I said to you when we were talking about that on the Steam, you can dual boot obviously into Windows and play your PlayStation library. If there's a way to do this on the Microsoft ROG Ally, I will definitely sell my portal and just have this, because as someone who plays PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, like across everything, I've got all the subscriptions. Having PlayStation and Xbox and Steam all on one device is like what everyone's wanted forever, basically. It's just a no-brainer.
In theory, if that's possible, what I currently have now is a massive fucking tower PC and 2 consoles sat behind me, and you're telling me the majority of them, they won't run as fast, cool, whatever, who gives a shit. But you're telling me that is eventually going to be all shrunk down in something that's this big, that I can go sit on the couch with my partner and we can watch our TV shows and be close and have time together, and I can still play all of them fucking games. Yeah, sweet. I'll pay the 900 quid for it. And I will be there day one, and I will punch a child in the face to make sure I get my unit. Like,
I will still say, for me, a Switch 2 is still above this.
And that's absolutely fine. Like, that is so valid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is the kind of thing that everyone needs. But I know the kind of gamers we are. We've all, like, I know Josh already has this handheld because he's made of money. But we've all loved handheld gaming. We've been waiting for the one that makes the most sense for us. This is the handheld that's made me go, yes, it's finally fucking go time. And if I don't have one to get me through Christmas Day, I'm going to be a massive crybaby bitch about it and ruin everyone's Christmas.
It's a funny one for me because the Portal came out and people that completely misunderstood that it was a streaming device, not a PSP, got angry. Mm-hmm. I know that people will hear this, see the price point of the X, and get angry. No, everyone's just angry nowadays.
Yeah.
They could release something that literally shits out money at you and they'd be angry. I think the people that want it are going to get it. The people who know exactly what they want from their gaming experience will make the decision on either what model they need or whether they need one overall. I just, it annoys me when something like cool like this comes out that has an audience and people that aren't planning on getting it regardless have to shit on it. It really winds me.
Realistically, if we break down what it is, because there's nothing that game changing here. It is a new generation of ROG Ally, which is already one of the top handhelds.
Mm-hmm.
And all they've done is partner with Microsoft to add an Xbox button, which will have something it can do, whatever. And they've also finally got permission, the Xbox team, from Microsoft to fuck with Windows and make it more friendly for handhelds, which is, even if you don't like this particular handheld, is going to be a benefit for all future handhelds. There is nothing to be negative about here, except I don't like that price point. I'm going to wait for one that's closer to my price point.
Which, again, is a good thing. Obviously, the cheaper model, the base model, won't be as good. From what I read, the upgraded one's 1080p and the low one's 720, which will still run really well. I mean, we run base switches for God knows how long. And it was also worth mentioning, the normal ROG Ally X doesn't have the handles like on the Portal. It's just like a rounded off unit, whereas the new Xbox One does have
Xbox controller handles.
Yeah.
What I will say about that 720p thing, so it's the same screen. It's still a 1080p screen. It's just the hardware inside the base model will run better at 720p, and they will use not DSLR, DLSS, AMD's equivalent to upscale to 1080p,
That
the
makes sense.
majority of gamers will not notice.
But yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And on a screen that small, you're not going to
The
notice
kind
the
of
same
people
as
who would
on a
notice
monitor.
that change are the kind of people who are going to go for the 900 quid all singing, all dancing model. Prices to be announced. It's not actually £900. I don't know. That is a guesstimate. But you know what I mean? Like the people who would care
Yeah.
about the upscaling are going to buy the more expensive
Yeah,
one anyway,
exactly.
where it doesn't matter. The only thing I'm a little bit upset about now that I have an OLED monitor and I don't want to go back is I wish there was an OLED model.
That'll come out later, though. No, but the
I will
Xbox
pitch in on that.
Elite.
Because
Yeah.
the Allies don't have OLED models currently, which will be why there isn't one. But that's the thing that the Steam Deck still has over other similar handhelds.
So I will pitch in on that. I had the Switch one, the original, jumped to OLED, and the difference was night and day. I put when I was setting up my Switch 2, I put it next to my OLED, and the non-OLED Switch 2 still looks fantastic. The blacks aren't as black. You do notice that, but as far as I can see,
As far as I can screen.
as far as I can screen, it looks fantastic. You would not, the average person would not know that it's not OLED if you gave them a Switch Switch OLED and straight onto that. It's just the blacks is the only time you notice the difference. They are very grey in comparison.
Here's the thing, I'm still going to buy the thing, but I would, as stupid as it sounds, I'd rather spend another 250, 300 quid and have an OLED, which I know is like, just announce another more expensive one. Xbox,
if the Switch 2 came out with just a base Switch 2, obviously Nintendo love to make money in a couple of years' time. If they brought out a base model and an OLED, I would have got the OLED. Same now, if I was to get a Steam Deck, I'd pay the extra for the OLED. So it is a shame, but the Switch 2 and even the Portal's not OLED, looks unbelievable. So it just shows that you don't need an OLED screen for handheld gaming to look really good.
Absolutely. But like to put into perspective how bullish I am on this, I've already been looking on the D-Brand website at like their kill switch cases for the current ROG Ally. I'm like, yep, sweet, we'll be getting one of them. That bad boy is going to live with me.
I respect
it. I'm going to be the guy who goes for his lunch break. I eat my lunch in 3 seconds flat, and then I'm like, right, half an hour of whatever game I'm playing at the minute. I cannot fucking wait. It's going to be save up, throw money at it, play games. I can't wait. This is the most excited I've been for a hardware launch in a while.
It's funny because we say that would have been a good way to end the show. I mean, it's a pretty solid way to open a show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it had everyone locked in for the rest of the show because they're like, if that's at the beginning, what else have you got? Little did they know.
No, I'd argue they had a lot. One, I'm going to put out a claim. I did say earlier that Atomic Heart 2 was top 3 games. My favourite game shown this weekend, obviously apart from Resident Evil, Clockwork Revolution.
Yeah, sign me the fuck up.
At first, it was a weird one. I thought the trailer was going on for a little bit too long, and the pacing was off. And then it sort of...
I got to a point, I was like, what is this game?
Yeah.
Like, just tell me.
And then it started showing you weaponry, different upgrades, and I was so in. This game looks unbelievable. Unfortunately, we haven't got any dates or anything yet.
Time fuckery element of it is something I'm so excited to play around with.
Yeah.
The game just looks stunning. Day one on Game Pass. Play it anywhere, mate. Also, before we forget, my favourite part of the ROG Ally reveal was that the game that they were showcasing on it was Silksong.
Oh, yeah. And they mentioned Silksong.
They said
Silksong's essentially a launch title for it.
Yeah.
Silksong is a launch title for the device, which also hasn't got a date, but will be released in 2025.
Well, so all they said was holiday 2025.
Yeah, they said holiday 2025, so it'll be early November realistically, because they want time for people to order it for Christmas for their kids.
So they have essentially confirmed that Hollow Knight will be this year.
Yeah. Which is
Still no
heartbreaking
official
for us
date.
in fantasy cricket.
Yeah, because Jordan's got that. He's buzzing. I counterpicked it. I've had a stinker. It is coming out.
I mean, it could still be shit. It won't be, but it could be.
I mean,
Yeah, but here's the thing: with the counterpicture, you want it to come out and do poorly.
Yeah, you don't get any points if it doesn't come out.
it's gonna do well. It's gonna drop numbers, mate.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Anyway, Clockwork Revolution, all fucking in, love it. It looks great. It is such a me kind of game. I love the steampunk aesthetic. I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm interested. Give me something. The timed fuckery elements. I love the way that, based on what we saw in the trailer, it looks like the start of the game you've already been arrested. And you're going to create your character based on someone going, oh, like giving like a sketch to like the police or something. Fucking awesome. I like the humor vibe to it.
Some of the characters look great.
Yeah. In one of our you asked us like our predictions for the weekend or what we wanted to see, and I said I want a new IP that gets me excited. This is it.
Very much looking forward to that. I will at the end of the Xbox segment coming back to our predictions, which is exciting. Who predicted what, etc., etc. One I was surprised about, Obsidian. We know they're busy at the minute, and
yeah,
Grounded 2.
Yeah, I didn't even know did we even know this was potentially being worked on, or was this like a genuine like? Oh, by the way, Grounded 2's happening.
I had no idea. I feel
I
like
don't
I'm
actually
very in the loop.
Saw anything about it coming.
And
was Grounded 1 well reviewed?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I played it. It was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I also didn't hate it. It was just one of them games for me, like my have a really good time, and then you don't really touch it for ages. In my instance, I never went back. But I can imagine a lot of people play it in that way.
It was like a survival game, I didn't understand how there was a sequel being made.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one.
There is a story to progress while also doing like survival stuff. So I imagine that's how it's going second.
I mean, a lot of people on Twitter seemed very excited about it, so I can only assume a lot of people did play and really like the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Obsidian are cooking.
It was out this year. I'm pretty sure, like this summer, or the summer's like the early play testing you can sign up for. I think most people would, like you say, were just baffled really, because Obsidian, obviously, the theme of the showcase was Outer Worlds 2, which we'll come to. Avowed came out earlier this year, and now they've got playtesting this summer for a third game. Like, what are they cooking over there? What sort of crunch is going on over there?
And none of them are like small games either. It's not like they're doing like 2 major games and then they're doing like a DLC for Grounded or something. They've fully gone, here are 3 genuinely massive, exciting games. Like next year, they're all just taking the year off. Nothing's getting done next year. And more power to them. They deserve the break.
They'll be working on Outer Worlds 3, mate.
Good. More.
Speaking of, we spoke about Ninja Gaiden earlier. Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out October 21st. Day 1, play anywhere. Aphelion. This was an interesting one. The devs behind Jusant, which was sort of like a climbing, chilled game, and Life is Strange. A sci-fi third-person adventure. When they first showed it, I was looking at it like, this looks like really very good graphics. What is the story? And then they sort of started climbing, and a bit less excited by it. But by all means, does it look good? I love Life is Strange. Jusant is on my backlog because it has a good platinum trophy. So one I might check out. I mean, all of these games, the beauty of this is, unlike the PlayStation Showcase, where they're not all on the PS Extra, all of these games I don't have to buy. I have Game Pass. If I want to dabble with a game, I don't have to commit X amount of money to it. I can try it out. If I don't have to play it.
I will say this game looks gorgeous, and it's been
really
made. It's been made in collaboration with like the European Space Council or whatever. So like the space elements of it should be really accurate, I assume, which is kind of fucking cool.
I saw a tweet saying NASA was snubbed. Which they took away. One of my favourite parts of the Xbox showcase.
We got a new Pokemon game.
There is some sort of Souls-like gross creatures being hacked out with a sword. The segment of gameplay finishes, and the Game Freak logo pops up. I was looking at it like, hold on a minute, that ain't no Pokemon. It feels like every now and then they put their name on something and say, we do and can make something that isn't Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it was just so strange seeing this type of game.
It's very much as them going, guys, don't forget we are game devs. Like, we know how to make a game. But I mean, is Pokemon...
the game looks good.
Is Pokemon not just a Souls game?
It's just a turn-based RPG. It's basically Claire Obscure. But this game looks fantastic. I'm looking at some screenshots now, and it literally...
Yeah.
Just Pokemon in the upside down.
Everyone lost
RPG,
their mind.
RPG.
Everyone lost their mind when they thought it was Game Freak. They're like, this game looks phenomenal. What do you mean it's Game Freak? It was so funny.
I believe, to my knowledge, that didn't have a specific date, but it was 2026, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe. I don't think anything we saw was later than 2026. It was either giving us hard date or 2026.
Which is always nice. We're not getting anything. But then again, we always got to remember a couple of years ago, Xbox
Delays.
Showcase, we saw Silksong at that one, and everything was supposed to come out next month.
I was showing Elder Scrolls 6 like 6 years ago. So.
Do you remember when they said that? It's like every game we're going to show you today will come out in the next 12 months, and in the end, like half of them did.
They just did, yeah.
And then every fucking showcase ever instantly went, right, we're never making that claim again.
Yep.
Blood of a Dawnwalker. This was one I very much like to look at. It's the actual cinematics look very good. Your action RPG, half human, half vampire. They seem to put an emphasis on sort of being in the daylight and the nighttime.
Yeah, we got an unofficial Blade game before we got a Blade film. Blade was announced in 2018. I hate it here.
That's tough. But yeah, one that looks very good. I believe this was on PlayStation and Steam as well. A lot of the games I think at this showcase are also on PlayStation and Steam. They just emphasizing it will be day one on Game Pass.
I'm pretty sure every game here was also on Steam, and then about half to 3/4 of them were also on PlayStation.
Which is cool. Gamers playing everything.
It was a bit weird seeing the PlayStation logo. I kind of expected them to go, other consoles are available or something. It was kind of weird to see the actual PlayStation logo. But I liked it. It's nice that Xbox have fully dove into this. Just play the fucking games and enjoy games. We don't care where you play.
Yep.
I like it. Maybe I'm cringe for not wanting a culture war to continue.
Oh, absolutely no. Put your games everywhere. It's just so much easier for everyone.
Get your games out.
New horror from Bloober Team. We can't go wrong. I'm a big Bloober Team guy. My fantasy team is called Boober Team because I'm an immature guy. Love Medium, love Layers of Fear. Anything Bloober put out, I'm quite a fan of. This one was Kronos New Dawn. I believe it was more... It looked similar to what was the space game that didn't review well, but I like. Callisto Protocol. Very like...
Oh, did that not review well in the end?
No, unfortunately, no. I didn't mind it. The voice acting was a bit meh. But again, space, zombies, Dead Space, Callisto Protocol.
Space is kind of scary anyway, and then when you just put someone isolated on like a broken down space station with monsters, like that is like the scariest pure concept you can really come up with.
So yeah, that looks fantastic. Again, I don't think it got a date to my best knowledge. So we'll just have to wait. We'll see all these games again at Game Awards in December. So. A big one. This was a big one. This was one of the things that I think not saved the show because it was a good showcase. Final Fantasy VII Remake. They announced to come on Xbox. I mean, Xbox fans have wanted this for an extremely long time. Final Fantasy VII. Although it might not be our tastes here specifically, is one of the biggest and best games of all time. for that to finally be announced to come onto Xbox, huge. And then they follow that up. That is coming 2026, I believe. And then they followed that up with Final Fantasy 16. Obviously, came out within the last couple of years. Ben Starr as the main voice actor for Clive, pardon me. Shadow Drop. You can play it today.
That was insane.
Yeah,
That's
Final
huge.
Fantasy fans went nuts from what I saw.
Final Fantasy might be the only franchise that does more remakes than The Last of Us, but they also have made 16 actual games, so I kind of let them off.
But I feel like there's about 7 different variants now of
I don't even know
FF7
what the
remake,
difference is.
because the one that's coming to Xbox is remake integrated.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say,
I have no idea.
Reloaded, reforged, just of
I have no idea what that
Sure,
is.
if you know, it makes complete sense. But as an outsider, it's like, this is Remake Revolution integrate Twilight Zone, and I'm like, cool. What's the difference?
So
just look at what
really,
year it came out.
George loves Final Fantasy, and he was like trying to get me, because I've never really dabbled with it, and I was sort of like, where do I need to enter? Because there seems to be a couple of different Final Fantasy 7s. One of them's online only, and I was like, mate, I don't know what I'm doing here. So until they make it easy with all the numbers, I probably won't dabble. But this was very big news for Xbox fans and Final Fantasy. One that I like the look of, High on Life 2. One, as you both know, I played that this year. Enjoyed the game because it wasn't too long. Enjoyed the humor. I can only assume Justin Roiland won't be involved in this one.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Justin Roiland is kind of done in the industry as far as I know. He was, although this doesn't mean anything, the charges were dropped. Now, as anyone who's paid attention to like the footballing world will know, charges being dropped doesn't mean shit. Weird stuff can happen. But a lot of the time in the creative world, charges being dropped normally means the person gets to come back to work. So I don't know how involved he even is with Squanch Games anymore and how that kind of stuff works. But both of the main characters of Rick and Morty have been recast. They're not Justin Roiland anymore either. And they sound no different.
Yeah.
So they could easily just get them guys to come in. Because let's be clear, Justin Roiland did 3 voices. So I don't think it's going to be a massive detriment to the game.
Yeah, it's also like, yes, he was part of that studio, but like, there's still a studio of game devs that made the first one that are still going to make the second one. Like, he is just one small cog, really, in that whole.
He was a founder of it, I think, was the concern.
Yeah, but
so I can only assume it had enough money to kind of just buy him out and tell him to disappear.
Well, knowing that the first one was on Game Pass, and obviously Xbox is seemingly invested in them as a, like, showcasing them as a studio, something tells me that Xbox is still happy to be partnering with them in some way. So yeah, I imagine the studio is just kind of carried on. Maybe this means they'll have more of a individual voice of as a studio rather than being fully influenced by what he wanted.
Yeah.
So game might be even better.
In the trailer, they did show a handful of new weapons.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, don't quote me, he only voiced the main weapon in the game.
Yeah, I think
he did. I think he did
some
a
side
lot
characters.
Yeah.
I think he did a lot of the NPCs as well.
Okay.
That you might hear as you're walking around.
You can just get anyone to do.
Yeah. Hey, hot take. I think one person doing a bunch of voice in the game is a bad thing. You should find a way to hire more voice actors because that's cool as fuck.
Because also, I don't recall seeing the main weapon in the trailer, like from High on Life 1. That could be canon because those who have played the first one, like the ending, and there is also a secret cutscene. Yeah, but it depends how you did it because there's like the end of the first one's got like multiple endings.
We also know, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly tied in story wise because we know those weapons are from their own planet of sentient
Yeah.
weapons. So
also,
it's like,
there was a DLC for High on Life that he wasn't attached to in any way. So they've already released content in
Yeah.
this universe without him that was fine. So it's not a big issue. It's kind of cool that it's getting a second one, though. It's always nice to see a studio that took a kind of a big risk with its first game, survive to make a second. That doesn't seem as common in 2025, so that's kind of cool.
I really like the first one. I just hope that the platinum, some of the trophies aren't as bugged, because in the trophies,
play on Xbox,
like,
mate.
in the trophies subreddit community, there was a lot of people having issues with not just the glitch that I encountered. There was various different trophies that stopped people from getting the platinum, and some people just gave up in general. I forced myself to do a whole nother playthrough, but obviously a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So
Play the game and don't care about achievements.
Just don't break the game.
I'm a
Just
trophy
don't break the
merchant,
game. Trophy merchant, he supports West Ham. The irony.
Oh, referee. Speaking of IP, the known IP leading into games, I've seen some like, oh, this artwork looks cool. Bang, Invincible. However, it is a 3v3 tag team fighting game.
I'm so happy for the fighting fans. But I was sat on the sofa. Jenna asked me a question as the guy gets fucking obliterated in the trailer. I'm like, holy shit, that was Invincible colours, because I'm a fucking loser. I knew instantly from the
I
flash
spotted
colour.
the blue and yellow straight
I was like,
away.
holy fuck, an Invincible game, let's lock in. And then there was a transition as it went from cinematic. I was like, oh fuck, it's a fucking fighting game. And my evening was ruined. Ruined.
I mean, here's my thing. If I'm going to play a tag team fighting game, I'm going to go play Marvel Token. That looked better.
It's peaked, because obviously this is going to be really good, but now it's got competition as well. It's like, but I mean, fighting fans are feasting this weekend.
Yeah,
they can't have any complaints at all.
Yeah, no, like micro genre of gaming has ever had a weekend this good.
Planet of Lana 2 revealed for 2026. The first one done reviewed very well. I'm pretty sure it's 2023 it came out. I still haven't played it. It's on my backlog.
Get fucked. I've played about 2 hours of it and then got distracted.
I mean, you're
classic.
Small game that fucking Josh hasn't played yet that I have. Get wrecked.
I want to play it.
It was very, very good for them 2 hours. I do want to get back to it.
I am a big puzzle guy. This is like a puzzle platformer. So having Planet of Lana 2 just be more of that. No, I'm so now. I'm a big Plague Tale fan. I've played 1 and 2, Requiem and Innocence, and we've got Resonance, a spin-off. It's not a main quote-unquote Plague Tale game. Coming 2026. Looks, I don't want to say more of the same, but it does look more of the same.
If it ain't broke, etc., etc.
Yeah, I really like the games. This looks more of the same, weird, creepy, nice graphics. I will be there. One that got a huge pop all over social media. One that, as soon as it popped up, I put in the Discord, I will not be there. Super Meat Boy 3. So I have played a little bit of the first one. Obviously, good lord, I did not complete.
I know. I don't think I ever completed it. I played a good amount of the first one.
It's a funny game in the trophy, because as you can imagine, the platinum trophy is so hard.
God, yeah, imagine.
Some of the videos of people going for the platinum on that, like, just so jokes. Just because you do man, you die. Obviously, into a 3D, it looks really, really good. It looks awesome.
Like, we haven't had a Super Meat Boy for a while, and then they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, we're now doing it 3D.
3D. It looks
really good. Was this also day one Game Pass?
Yep. Early next year, I think.
It's probably
Cool.
also
This
play anywhere as well.
This is the kind of thing that I'm going to be playing on my ROG Ally X on the sofa.
This is
and
a perfect.
And I'm going to go,
game.
fuck's sake! And just gonna be like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I fucking died again.
Now, this is where in January you'll be buying a brand new ROG X Ally because you've
your
thrown
other one's in two.
your other one's wedged halfway into the wall.
As much of an angry gamer as I am, I have, touch wood, never broken any hardware because every time I'd like want to, my brain would instantly be like, that is fucking expensive, calm down, and then I'd just sit there and just seethe. The only sad thing about this game, which I will mention because I do think it's valid to mention, is the creator of the game is not involved in any way. The creator of Super Meat Boy is not involved in any way with this, and they didn't even tell him they were making it.
That's big.
So that's a little bit sad. I know there's probably lore behind this I don't understand. I imagine he signed away the rights or what fucking ever. But it kind of sucks that they didn't even give him a heads up and just let him know they were working on one. Like, that's a bit of a shame, but it's rough. Yeah. But it's very, very cool. It looks great, and I'm sure many, many people are excited. According to the Steam page, it's also going to be less than 10 gigabytes in size, which is a miracle in modern gaming.
Put it on the Switch.
It probably will, to be honest. It's like it is the perfect handheld game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We got more Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's another one. We can't go a couple of weeks without seeing
They're taking the Last of Us attitude.
Obviously, it comes out next month, so it's like a month tomorrow, I think, at the time of recording. This looks cool. They just showed more different maps. So I played 4 religiously. I don't remember 3, so I will be grabbing it.
3 gamer.
I know trophies like are really hard on this game, so if it comes to Switch, which I actually haven't looked to see if it is, I might get it on Switch. Looks really good. Obviously, then we got the tease. Every Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, people know
it will be on the Switch.
Oh, you'd love to see it. There are secret people you can be like on Pro Skater 4, for example. I basically used Boba Fett the whole game because you could just jetpack up into the sky and boost your score like crazy. It got teased Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are in the game. So
I cannot wait to be Michelangelo.
Oh, see, I'm a Donatello guy, so
you're only Donatello fan in the world, by the way.
Like, I like purple.
Big fucking respect to you. Like Donatello is a class dude. He's probably number 2 for me. Nah, he's 3. But
it's the purple headband. That's all.
I don't think I've ever known anyone to go, "Who's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?" and the person go, "Donatello."
I've got a Donatello pop figure.
In a world with Raphael and Michelangelo, the fact you've gone Donatello is crazy.
I've got a limited edition Donatello pop figures.
Massive respect. That's love of the game. That's not fake bullshit. That's love of the game.
So a game that I was already looking forward to, and I can be Donatello, like it's a no-brainer.
It's also such an obvious collab.
Oh yeah.
It's such an obvious collab. It's fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in them cartoons were fucking skateboarding constantly. It's such an obvious collab that I can't believe like I didn't see anyone predicting it.
Can we just talk about how much Tony Hawk is managing to milk these games though? Because like they sold
more power
well when they first came out. Like
the PS2 games sold like nuts.
Yeah, and I remember he's talked about that.
The only rich person I actively am okay with making more money.
I remember him talking about that and being like, when it was Activision, I think back at the beginning, approached him for them. He was just like, okay, yeah, sure, we can do a game. Didn't think it was going to do very well. And then like he got his first check and it was like $1 million. And he was like, wait, I've got this from the game? And ever since...
He said, didn't he? He said they wrote him an initial check, which wasn't a lot of money in the grand scheme of how much he ended up making from the games, but was a lot of money still. And he took that and he was like, this is the only money I'll ever see from this game, but who gives a fuck? And then it went gangbusters and they're like, okay, here's a fuck ton of money. It's about to go into platinum, which will mean you get a higher royalty forever on it. and we want to start work on the second one. Here's your down payment check for the second one if you're down for that. And it was like 10 times bigger than the initial check, which he thought was the only penny he was ever going to see. And he was like, yeah, fucking run it.
Now it's 2025 and he's re-released all 4 of them again, or gonna have re-released all 4 of them.
See, this is the thing. I don't know how well I'm going to gel with it. So I didn't get the original remake because I didn't play 1 and 2 when I was younger. I think they were a bit before my time. Because I had played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, American Wasteland, Underground, sort of that era onwards. So I'm looking forward to this remake. I don't know how well the 1 and 2 remastered reviewed. So this is interesting.
I think it did okay. I think there were some rough bugs at launch that got fixed pretty quickly. But I'm pretty sure that it's all on Game Pass as well. So.
But this is one I'll definitely be checking out. Switch, most likely. Very much looking forward to it. One that caught me by surprise. The sort of trailer has started. It looked like it was going to be some sort of... And then it turned into he was cleaning the walls, removing wallpaper. I couldn't tell if it was House Flipper, if it was Power Wash Sim.
It was that sort of game.
It seems like it's like a Power Wash Sim, but it's got like a story behind it. You're sort of cleaning and redoing the rooms
undercover.
To sort of unlock sort of like what happened at this building.
The vibe I got was absolutely Power Wash Simulator meets like We Happy Few. Like, I feel like you're going to be there just cleaning up like the local florist, and then all of a sudden you're going to be getting chased by a killer clown or some shit.
Yeah, because it wasn't just one building. You was like in the
whole
village,
village.
Yeah, you like broke into the shop at night, and then it was suddenly mystery mode.
It's one of these games that I don't think is for me, but I will not be shocked if just like when it comes out, the entire internet is like, "Holy shit, this game's amazing." Because it's just weird and different enough that people might really fuck with it.
Yeah. And the beauty of it, it's on Game Pass. You can try it out. If it's not for you, you don't have to play it. Stop. It's the orange box all over again. DLC. We did get some DLC announcements. Elder Scrolls popped up, Hori.
Whoa. Fucking Elder Scrolls Online, though. They're like, don't get me wrong, I'm not surprised. All MMOs, like, they're just... in the MMO world, it has done well, and over the years they've improved it, and it's got to... For the people that play the game, it's in a fairly good spot. I don't give a shit. I want Elder Scrolls 6. Like...
Hot take, I don't think there is any space for already released MMO games at these kind of events. I don't want to see the latest expansion for Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, World of Warcraft over Summer Games Fest weekend. I don't. DLC I'm okay with. If it's actually like a sizable DLC, not like new skins. And I want to see updates on new games and new games. I don't want to see, oh, you can now go fishing in Fallout 76. Like,
it's hard though, because the Fallout like Fallout 76 fans were probably buzzing to see that.
No, but it's not the time or place for it.
Here's the thing. The Fallout fishing one got fucking revealed in the countdown timer. They were showing clips of it. Like, anyone with a brain could have been like, oh, this is Fallout universe and there's people fishing. Well, that tells me what's coming.
It doesn't need to take up time, and it doesn't need a whole screen going Bethesda reveal when you've got people waiting on an update about the next DLC for Starfield or an update on Elder Scrolls 6 or potentially an announcement that they're officially working on the next Fallout game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking ridiculous that they're like, oh, here is an update to our online games.
I feel the Elder Scrolls and Fallout thing, it's because of them buying Bethesda. I think they feel they needed to put something in there. There's nothing else for them to put there, but they have to show that they've got Bethesda now.
They have to show that Bethesda is doing something.
I mean,
but then
yeah.
Oh, I feel like it is a hard one because obviously we don't care for it, but a lot of people probably do. And like, I think Hori makes a good point that Bethesda just need to have something there rather than nothing.
Okay, cool. If they're going to do that, stack it at the beginning. Don't give it such a big title card that might get people excited, and don't space them 10 minutes apart so that you have the first one and be like, oh, okay, cool, that was just an update about that. And then you see the next one, and you're like, oh, maybe this is an actual one, and then you get done again. Because that's how you lose a lot of good faith.
Are you ready for when they start mixing in Blizzard announcements into Xbox Showcase?
Oh,
Don't.
World of
I swear
Warcraft
to
new
God,
expansion.
if I get hit with a back-to-back Elder Scrolls Online update, Fallout 76 update, and World of Warcraft update, and they're going fucking world premiere, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Didn't we get the WoW one last Xbox Showcase, like last year?
Maybe.
Sure.
I don't know.
The Indiana Jones DLC was cool though.
The World of Warcraft.
Oh no,
stuff,
it was New World. It was New World.
Yeah, it was New World.
Yeah.
But like all the Blizzard stuff still goes to BlizzCon because that still goes on. But yeah.
Indiana Jones DLC looks pretty cool though, and once again, I do need to go and finish Indiana Jones.
I haven't started it, but I
played 10
the
minutes.
Order of the Giants DLC as my DLC spot in Fantasy Critic. I gambled on that at the start of the year, so I'm very glad that it's got a date, September 4th.
So
Yeah,
that was
September
your
4th.
DLC spot.
So yeah, I was buzzing for that.
The Indiana Jones reviewed really well, and
Yeah,
this
surprisingly well.
DLC looks good.
I still haven't played it. I want to. I want to see what the trophy guide's like, and if the trophy's really long, I will play it on Game Pass. I do want to check it out. It looks good. It's on the backlog. It's just not enough time to play all these games.
Mm-hmm.
And then the theme of the show, the Xbox Showcase, Obsidian back again, Outer Worlds 2. Hori, I don't know if you've played it, so Con, we will lead with you. What are your thoughts?
I've not played Outer Worlds 2.
No, obviously.
Outer
What are your
Worlds is
thoughts?
Well,
Outer Worlds is a great
if you had and were ended age, that's what you would say. So
Outer Worlds I fucking love. Like I said, I had, I want to say like 40 hours in the original Outer Worlds, and I think I only did like 2 hours of story stuff because it lets you go off and get into mischief so quickly that I derailed myself so bad that I'm like, I don't even know what's happening in this universe. It's like Fallout 4 where it's like you have to go save your son, and then 600 hours later you're just building more settlements. But I'm so excited for this game. All of the stuff they built on from the first game, I'm so excited for. This is like the most self-belief I've seen from the Obsidian team. They're genuinely sitting there like, yeah, we fucking cooked with this one. You guys aren't ready. And that has me so excited. I will be there. This won't be one that I go, oh, I need to check that out and then forget about for 6 months. This will be a day one type beat. I'm so ready. Gimme now.
My question was, do I need to play the first one before the second? Because to my knowledge, it has been enhanced for the Switch 2.
Okay. I don't know if you need to play it to understand the second one. You do need to play it if you enjoy video games.
I do.
And honestly, it being on a handheld sounds dreamy.
It's a game that it isn't on my backlog. For some reason, it never appealed to me. I think I saw how long it took to beat, and it just put me off. Which is unlike me because I love a long game.
Just play it.
So I might look into.
It's also only for the next 20 hours. It's only £8 on Steam.
What about Nintendo stuff?
Not Funkly.
Yeah, I think it looks unbelievable. Again, I think this Atomic Heart 2 and Clockwork Revolutions were probably my 3 most hyped games outside of Resident Evil whole weekend. And that's as someone who hasn't played the first one. I think it just looks unbelievable.
My favourite thing they're kind of doing with this one that they've talked about a fair bit is the idea that if you keep doing the same thing, eventually they'll offer you a buff to it, but you'll take like a negative towards something else. So if you're like a melee combat dude and you're doing that a lot, eventually the game will offer you the opportunity to like enhance your punches, but your aim is gonna like be 50% worse. And you've got to decide if you want to take that or not. And I'm like, that is fucking cool.
Where I heard it in a podcast. Well, like if you're someone who's quite stealthy and you're always crouching around, if you do it like too long, and like one of the things you have to make the choice is like your like knees are really bad when you're trying to be stealthy. Like when you stand up, you limp and your knees like crack, so it like gives away your positioning and stuff like that.
And so that's so good, and it makes the world feel so much more real. Like the idea is like, okay, you want to keep playing this way, we will make it easier to play that way, but we're going to make it harder in another way. So do you want to commit to playing the way you're playing? And I fucking love that. Because I will be the dumbass who's like, yeah, I'm loving being stealthy right now. Let me take that. And then 20 hours later, I'm like, I'm sick of being stealthy. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, this is difficult now.
Hori, is this one that you'd likely check out, or?
I don't know. I never played the first one. It didn't. It kind of sits in the same realm for me as Fallout, like that same vibe of game. And I wasn't a Fallout person. I was more high fantasy.
I'm a big Bethesda hater, though, so
it's fair. I'm a Bethesda copium huffer from the Oblivion Skyrim days. And they are long gone.
Hori has decided that he's not going to play another Bethesda game until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Unfortunately, he won't just be the butt of old jokes anymore. When that game comes out, he will legitimately be old.
I mean, up until the Oblivion remake came out, I would have said that is 100% true. But I will probably now at some point play the Oblivion remake.
Next year, when Elder Scrolls 6 still isn't out, you'll just cave and play Oblivion.
Yeah.
This is Elder Scrolls 6 now.
But yeah, so I probably won't check it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Not every game's for everyone, like we've been saying. And closing the show. This for me...
cinematic.
This for me is super frustrating because, like Con mentioned, if they had the ROG Ally to close the show, would have been awesome. Clockwork Revolution, they could have done. Even honestly, the Final Fantasy announcements to end the show, that would have been a pop enough, in my opinion. But to close, I just don't think you can close a yearly showcase on a Call of Duty game, because realistically,
we knew it was coming.
It's a yearly cycle game. This should have been the show opener. They should have swapped this with a ROG Ally. Everyone knew Xbox has this now. Everyone knows COD's coming out October, November. We didn't know it was going to be Black Ops 7, but who really is asked? It's just astonishing to me that they put COD to close a show, especially considering the sort of trailer that they showed before looked unbelievable.
This looks like a cool sci-fi world. I can't wait to explore this world.
It had vibes of some other games.
And then just Black Ops 7. And I just wanted to die.
I really didn't understand it. They were literally like fondling my gonads, as I'm going to say, by showing a game that looked like it was going to be some unreal single player, new story, new IP, potential big Xbox first party. Who knows what it's going to be? Fucking Call of Duty. I honestly couldn't believe it. And then I just assumed in my head, there'll be one more thing. But no, it just ends on Black Ops 7.
It's so funny because if the Xbox event would have had a live crowd like Summer Games Fest, as Black Ops 7 came on the screen, you would have heard a groan. You would have. I heard a groan sat in my fucking office by myself from the people around the world watching the stream, all collectively going, huh? Because no one was excited, because Call of Duty gamers who would be excited by that don't watch these kind of events. Because they only care about their yearly releases, and they don't need to watch an event to know when that's coming out, because it's the same time every fucking year.
I mean, I genuinely wasn't surprised that they ended on this. Like, Yeah, I mean, are people forgetting how much they spent on Activision? I'm pretty sure this is probably in their contract to ban it, of like, you will always be a number one showcase at our any Xbox showcase.
COD is going to make them that money back. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fucking money, but it was a safe investment.
Yeah, but like they're always
stop ruining our fun.
Yeah, but that's the like same as with the Bethesda stuff. They have to show it now. So that is
they not just bury it somewhere in the middle.
Going forward, every Xbox showcase at Summer Game Fest is going to have something from Bethesda, something from Activision, maybe something from Blizzard if they stop doing BlizzCon.
I don't have an issue with Black Ops 7 being part of it. I just don't think they should have made it the closer.
No way.
That's my only issue.
Always going to be an opener or closer.
I also wasn't super excited with how the cinematic made it feel like something more than just a fucking.
Oh well, that's because they're trying the hardest to like. They're painting a shit gold, like.
It's just so frustrating. With so many genuinely great games on the roster for this showcase, literally any other game as the closer, even if I'd have been like, "Oh, that's a weird one to close on," would have been better.
It's just frustrating because. Also, we got a sneak peek at, like, they showed a little bit more of Gears of Day, which we already knew about. There was no Halo, no Starfield, no Fable. Obviously, we know Fable got delayed till next year. There was no. What am I missing? I'm thinking Xbox in my head, and they
Project Zero Dark,
and they closed with BO7. It's a strange decision for me personally, but overall, I thought the showcase was good. There's a lot of games I'm interested in checking out.
Mm-hmm.
It just had the unfortunate situation of they had to try and live up to last year's, which I don't think they'll ever repeat. Personally,
I'm so excited for this handheld and all these games. I'm just gonna be chilling on my sofa playing this handheld for. It's gonna be great.
I think for Xbox to like have a new peak, it's gonna need their next gen console reveal to be something crazy like that docking idea, plus something with Halo and something with Fable being in the same year or something.
Imagine next year they hit us with like a wombo combo of Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out in 6 months.
Fable, Halo.
Fable is shadow dropping right now. And
Day one, play anyway.
Yeah, and Halo is coming out in 3 months. And like no one they managed to keep it all stum that these games are happening. And they come out and they do like a 1, 2, 3 to end the showcase. And they're like, Elder Scrolls 6 is 6 months away. And everyone's like, oh my God, what a great way to end. And then they go, Fable is out now. And everyone goes, oh my God, what a great way to end. And Halo is coming back. Bungie is making it. They're our bitch again. Like, that's the only way. The only way.
I'm not going to lie. If Xbox said Bungie are making Halo again, I don't think that would excite me like it used to.
No.
Like, once upon a time, I would have been very hyped to see Bungie back. The Bungie that we now have isn't that same Bungie.
Just steal the art style from themselves. But overall, I was very happy with the entire weekend.
Yeah,
there was so much to be excited about.
Like was a side thing going on at the same time. Was we had Unreal Fest also happening?
Yes.
Which
was that Tuesday?
Or did you see that Witcher? Ooh.
Yeah, we got some
that
Witcher
tech
4
demo was insane.
Tech demo showing off, mainly to show off what Unreal 5.6 can do. Which I've been saying it since Unreal 5 got announced. Like this nanite shit and all the strides they're taking with the tech, like, is this next huge leap for gaming. They've now launched nanite foliage, which basically brings all that like high detail tech from the 3D models now is in foliage, which was like the one thing missing. So you're gonna get games looking insane, and they showed it off with Witcher 4. I am so excited for Witcher 4. That is going to steal me because it's going to be so fucking good.
What they showed of Witcher 4 just looked unbelievable.
Yeah. That tech demo was one of the best I've seen for a game.
And it was more to show off Unreal Engine rather than the game.
Yeah, rather than the game itself, yeah. But I do want to pull in, obviously, we very much enjoyed the showcases. Early last week, before them, I asked both of you for 3 things that you wanted to
I
see.
don't even remember what I
again.
said. No.
Con,
2 for 3, I think.
Yes and no. You wanted a Wolverine update. Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
I mean,
was copium.
you got one. It was pure silence.
Yeah, it's technically an update. It's not coming soon, that's for sure. James Bond. We got James Bond, which is always nice. You wanted a new IP from a big studio. Now, you got a new IP, which looks good.
Yeah.
In
Not a big
Clockwork
studio.
Revolution.
Yeah. Actually, what else have they made? I don't even know.
Either way, some pretty cool.
Yeah, the new IP was the bigger thing. I was hoping it would be a big studio just because it means they're more likely to have had a lot going. But the people making this were the people who made the Barge trilogy, Wasteland 2, Wasteland 3. So they're seasoned developers.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, it's exciting as fuck. That game it's got me written all over it, to be honest, and I can't wait.
Hori, you're free.
0 for 3.
No, you was 1 out of 3. You wanted to see Arc Raiders, which we saw. You put in brackets a potential shadow drop.
Yeah.
We didn't get that, but your main point.
Yeah.
I'm going to disregard the brackets. Arc Raiders you got. You wanted more information on Intergalactic from Naughty Dog.
Yeah, which we did.
Was massive copium.
We didn't get. And Elder Scrolls 6.
No, Elder Scrolls 6 was the massive copium.
They announced Intergalactic at Christmas when Naughty Dog take 12 years to make a game.
Still more
That's
chance.
not a remaster of The Last of Us.
More chance of getting that than Elder Scrolls 6 at this point.
So both of you are on 1 out of 3. For me,
there's no way I'm getting hit with the same score as Hori when he puts brackets on a shadow drop and I say I want a new IP.
And then myself, my 3 predictions, I wanted Resident Evil. I originally predicted it was going to be at the State of Play, which it wasn't. But
right, 0 points.
No, because my State of Play was in brackets like your shadow drop.
Okay.
I should have put Big Studio in brackets.
Yeah, you should have done your loss.
I wanted a date for mixtape, which we didn't get. We got to see mixtape, we didn't get a date.
Oof.
Right.
And then I wanted an update from a first-party PlayStation studio, whether it be Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, Insomniac, and I mean Sucker Punch. Obviously, we got Ghost, but I'm talking like new IP.
Not just.
Yeah, so I feel like we're all 1 for 3.
Yeah. I mean,
these 1 for 3s are not made equally.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that was a good weekend. I swear to God, if I see there's no game to play over the next
this thing,
week or so.
We all lost points on our copium
Now
picks.
none of these games are out.
We all lost points on copium picks, but then we've got given games that we didn't even know were going to be a thing and we're actually quite hyped for. So
big time.
There is genuinely 10 to 15 games from the weekend that I want to actively play. And
does anyone want to be my sugar mama and just pay me to play all the cool games?
No.
Ladies?
But yeah, that was our Summer Games Fest recap for 2025.
Boom.
2026. GTA 6 will be out.
Yeah.
Will we be playing that on the ROG Ally OLED Microsoft?
No, I will
edition?
be in this chair for a week straight. That 24-hour stream is going to look like tuppence compared to the hours I'm going to put into that game.
By this time next year, I'll probably be on the Switch.
The Switch 2 will be playing Mario.
Yeah, he's going to be playing GTA 6 on the Switch too. I don't care how powerful they've made that bastard thing. It ain't running GTA 6. And sure as shit not at launch.
It's got more chance of running it than my current PC, so... Because it won't even be out on PC.
Right, should we get into some nerdy news then? We've covered the gaming shit. Let's talk about what's going on in the entertainment world. Starting off, Blumhouse has acquired the rights to the Saw franchise. Lionsgate are expected to still be working with the franchise as a partner, but this acquiring of rights by Blumhouse does return creative control to James Wan. So that's an interesting one for the horror fans out there. Fantastic Four First Steps had a better first day for ticket sales on Fandango than any other film so far this year. The Fantastic Four hype is real, ladies and gentlemen, and then tickets are selling aggressively.
Pedro Pascal tax.
I saw it crashed some cinema sites.
Yeah. It's not uncommon. I feel like cinema sites in America are made of string cheese because they seem to go down anytime even a remotely exciting film. Yeah, it's crazy. The live action Mass Effect show is still going to be moving forward at Prime Video with the showrunner from Mindhunter, the very popular and then cancelled Netflix show. So, someone who knows what they're doing and has to make good TV involved. So, that's quite exciting. Warner Brothers Discovery are re-splitting. They will be splitting into two companies, one for streaming and studios and one for global network television. So, to put this into context, Warner Brothers and Discovery 2, maybe 3 years ago did a merger. They became Warner Brothers Discovery. That led to the HBO app becoming Max and all of that shit rebranding for 4 years that we've been dealing with. After that, this merger has gone so atrociously, they are now splitting themselves back into two companies.
I fear this all came from the one, because it came out that it was one exec's big ego that wanted the Max branding. He thought, like, everyone in marketing was telling him it was a bad idea, and he was like, no, I want us to do this. And they did it, and it went fucking shockingly. Wild that marketing know what they're talking about. And just kind of has pulled this whole merger apart, which is quite funny.
This merger has got to go down to the top 10, like, modern corporate fuckery. Like, what are we doing?
Is it? Or have they just hid a fuck ton of money in losses that they're now not going to get taxed on? Because each year they're going to be like, oh, we're still paying off our loss from last year.
I get that, but it's not exactly helped anyone because, like, last week there was an unofficial vote and all of the fucking shit. Oh, sorry, 65% of shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery thought that David Zaslav was being paid far too much money.
They're
like,
right.
An absolute shit show. An absolute shit show. So funny, but my God. The Legend of Zelda film has been delayed till May 7th, 2027. Delays happen if a video game is even within proximity of a project, apparently. I've seen a lot of people tweeting that casting director saw Hunter Schafer and realised they had to have her for Zelda. So they were just like, starting again until we land her and nothing else happens, which is quite funny. Yeah, I'm excited for this film. I think there's some real promise here. I'd rather they take their time and make sure they get a solid script in place instead of just trying to rush it out the door. As long as Chris Pratt isn't hired to voice anyone, I have hope.
Stop.
As long as we don't shove live action people in an animated world, we should be fine.
Yeah. We got a new Ironheart teaser trailer. Obviously, Ironheart start seeing 2 weeks yesterday. 6 episodes. I think they're all dropping on 24th June, which is just lovely. Just hiding a show. This trailer was quite cool though because we got to see Riri merging some magic into the suit. I was going to say
some dark looking magic.
Yeah, so I love the idea of a bit of a tech magic combo at some point.
Could kind of go kind of cool.
Yeah, but there was a shot of her in the old school Iron Man heads up display, and they had changed to have some the magic runes in there as well, which I thought was cool as fuck. And we also got some kind of inclination of an AI that she's built that she can interact with. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah,
because in the comics, that AI is Tony Stark. And that's where the relationship between Riri and Tony comes from. She accidentally finds a data shard and builds an AI from it, and it's Tony Stark.
Got you.
And I think that's why there was that throwaway line of who did you expect it to be?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how I feel about that. This is fucking brilliant news, though. So 2 or 3 days ago, SAG announced that they had a tentative voice acting agreement in place for gaming, so there was a chance the strike may soon end. As of noon today American time, literally while we were recording this episode, they announced the strike is officially on hold and work can resume.
Pog.
Providing this all gets properly ratified and no studios fuck with anything now, the voice acting strike is over, ladies and gentlemen. They got what they deserve. They got what they wanted. We are back in business now that I believe that's all of the major strikes over now. We should be back into a point for the first time post-COVID where stuff can progress relatively unimpeded.
I was going to say,
it was necessary.
Well, which guild hasn't yet?
I
the only one I know is the Animators Guild didn't fully strike.
So the Animation Guild went on strike, but they got a lot of individual agreements in place with studios who very quickly were like, yeah, we're happy with that. And they were like straight back to work. And there's a couple that are still not. The problem with the animation side is not as many animators are part of the guild. So like Disney animators on... Yeah, like Disney animators for the longest time haven't been part of a union.
Yeah.
So that one's a bit more complicated. James Gunn has confirmed that a Wonder Woman film is now in development, which is kind of exciting.
And it's going to be Gal Gadot!
I will turn on James Gunn so incredibly fast, he'll think his name is Zack Snyder. The speed at which I will turn on that motherfucker if Gal Gadot is anywhere near the DCU would be biblical.
Got to make the canon make sense. She'd be in every film.
It's kind of exciting to know that this is happening, and it's starting to make the DCU feel like it's actually going to survive a little while now that we know projects are happening. Obviously, Superman's coming out in a month today as we're recording this. We've got the Lanterns project in development. We've got Peacemaker Season 2. Supergirl has not long finished filming. Like, stuff is moving. It's exciting. Now, this is the most exciting. Connor's running away with a quote a little bit. James Gunn has said that he is working on the next film after Superman. But he has said it is not a straight-up Superman sequel. I am taking this to mean that it is a world's finest film, and for the uninitiated, world's finest is Superman and Batman. Team up. World's finest, I swear to God, if the reveal is, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility of how the last 6 months have gone, that they cut the Brave and the Bold, Robert Pattinson's Batman does become the DCU Batman, we get Batman 2 is actually happening, and that is going to lead into World's Finest. I'm going to become unbearably excited so fast.
Sounds like copium.
One of my first superhero films that I used to watch religiously was an old, the animated series made for TV film, which was essentially a World's Finest story, where Lex Luthor and the Joker swapped heroes, and the Joker went after Superman and Lex went after Batman, and it's a fucking masterpiece, and all I need is that energy captured in live action. And I think we now have the actors for it in Arbats and David Cornsweet.
I think it could. There's a chance it could be World's Finest. I just don't know if they do use our parts.
Oh, the bigger copium part of that is absolutely Patterson.
Yeah.
But that comes from the quote earlier this week of of James Gunn saying that Batman 2 is a big part of their plans at DC, and they're going to be getting a script any day now, and they're very excited. So people have taken that to mean, oh, well, James Gunn only cares about his universe, so this must mean it's part of his universe. Which is obviously bullshit. James Gunn is the head of DC. He cares about DC as a whole.
Yep.
But I'm going to keep huffing that copium at the idea of getting them to acting Because the more I see of David Cornsweat in teasers, the more I'm convinced Superman does actually exist. David Cornsweat is what chuds think Henry Cavill was. And I'll take the flack from that, from the fucking
Yeah,
sweaty
you're gonna
nerds.
get rinsed, mate.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. They can suck my rod. Henry Cavill's a dog shit actor. And thanks to Josh and his enormous wealth, the Switch has already sold in excess of 3.5 million units, making it Nintendo's fastest selling console.
Which is an interesting one, because
Go
on social media, from what I've seen, the Switch 2 is getting a lot of hate.
Really? I've not seen any of that.
Yeah,
It's more just the classic, like, why is it so expensive? Hasn't got OLED. But, like, everyone's like, oh, it's basically just the Switch 1. But the numbers...
Except this handheld console, which is thin as anything and gorgeous, can run Cyberpunk in a fucking reasonable way. That is genuine black magic.
Yeah, but that doesn't fit the narrative, mate.
No, it doesn't. What actually made me really excited about this stat is that they physically had enough units for that.
They're like, you can walk into like a
you
shop
can still
and
get
buy
them
a
at the
Switch
moment.
2. Yeah,
No, but that's what I mean. The fact that
feasible,
it's their
accessible.
fastest selling product ever,
And
and if I wanted one right now, I could go and get one, is like refreshing. But I feel like since COVID hit, getting an electronic at MSRP near launch has been impossible. So the fact that something like the Switch 2, which had a lot of excitement around it, was able to be a record seller for Nintendo and not just be because of 1 million pre-orders is really exciting, I think.
Yeah.
It makes me confident that in November I'm going to get my ROG X Ally and not have to be worried about scalpers.
If you get the high price point one, mate, you should be alright.
I want it. I want it so bad. I will kick a child in the face for it. I don't care. It'll be worth it. But yeah, that is it for the news this week. I feel like I kind of brushed over little bits, and we've just gone, what are the big bits of news this week?
I mean, we had a lot of gaming.
Exactly. Very, very excited with everything that happened over the week, obviously, with Summer Games Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible display. Lots of fun updates on media we're looking forward to, like Legend of Zelda, Ironheart, Wonder Woman, etc. But that is all for us this week. Thank you as always to Josh for coming and keeping us up to date on the gaming news. Thank you to you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
See you later.